Alrighty. Oh, let me just move this chat. It seems that the chat is now here. Oh, that's my camera. Where's the chat? Twitch chat. Yeah. Alright, let's smack this bad boy maybe here. And good evening, for those of you who joined, good evening. Let me just lock all of this stuff. Cool. Cool. Good evening. I don't know how many of you have joined already. I don't have these stats anywhere, but yeah. So today we're gonna be working on several things that I started off stream, and obviously we're gonna chat a bit and answer some questions, but I need to figure out some of the things first, especially regarding the CL library that we wrote. So we'll kind of start most likely with that today and then see where the evening takes us. What the hell is happening with this crap? Let's see. Oops. Recent. Where is this thing that I created? Like last night when I was testing something, I'm sure that I did my drafts maybe 21 hours ago. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah. Yes. Yep, it is this one. Yes, for sure. Okay. So yeah, so when I test some of our Yale in isolation in a project like this, right? It seems to be working, but as soon as we smack it inside of our own front end, right? It doesn't. So we'll need to fix that. That's where we're gonna start. Yeah, exactly. So we can see that it actually works in isolation, but let's actually go and see over here. Yeah, it still works there. So there's something off in our front end, right? And you can see here there's some mismatch with probably with let's take a look at that. Most likely with either CSS custom properties or something else. So let's take a look at that. Let's enforce this hover effect. Let's see which styles are actually being applied. Yeah, so that's a little bit weird. All right, let's go to Tailwind config. We also had this important in here, so maybe we want to try nuking that. Then we want to... Okay, so, interesting. So it's almost... Well, yeah, so that's better, but... JS Maniac, good evening, my friend. I'm good, man. How are you? How is life serving you? Alright, let me just log in there. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Have you been busy? Been doing something more fun, I presume, than staring at my stream, right? Let me just take a look at that. So yeah, so I think we only have one disparity now between our storybook in the isolation and production. And that is this color, right? So let's see, where's this gray coming from? So something is overriding this border primary. Let's take a look at that. So there is some text color which is applied, but I don't actually see where. Nice, man. Yeah, it's. I feel you, dude. I feel you. It's. Also now before holidays and stuff, it's a little bit hectic. I haven't been streaming much, honestly, so you haven't really missed too much, right? And then we have this dark thing. I think it's time because we're not using this dark mode, so I think we should just get rid of that, right? So that's, yeah, we just need to let me just stop the debugger and let me restart this process again, right? Because fundamentally we're not really using that, right? Anyway, the dark mode or anything like that. So yeah, so let's try to isolate this issue because it's been annoying me for a long time. Last night I was coding off stream and I couldn't figure out this disparity. So now we have the fill button. So everything's now almost working except that it doesn't actually have. So let's actually go and open up Louis GUI, right? Let's open our terminal here and let's say this. Let's run the storybook here. Yeah. But also I think, yeah, so did we run it? Yeah, let's go to button and index, right? So let's see about something. So this is kind of the basic logic for the button. So if it's disabled, give it this, and then if it's disabled and outlined, text should be primary. Otherwise, if it's not outlined and is disabled, text should be this, text BG primary. Yeah, this is a little bit weird. I wonder if this is the issue, right? Let's go to program network. So wait. So hover BG transparent, hover text primary. Yeah, so you can see what I can't see here is that we actually don't have any color set. So that's most likely the problem, right? Do we have something planned? We're gonna go to the Balkans. We're gonna go to Serbia to meet our family, like we go every year. So we're not gonna go anywhere like some exotic space or anything. Actually, I'm working tomorrow and then I'm off for like 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, we're going next Tuesday flying to Serbia, and then until then I'm just gonna, you know, while my kid is kindergarten, I'm gonna go out with my wife, just enjoy the day in the city for a couple of days. So nothing really special, but I can't wait to get some rest. And probably I'm gonna streaming a little bit more than I am usually, you know, when I have the time. I think that's probably gonna be something that, yeah, something that I'm gonna do, right? But not much, just, yeah. Pretty much that's it, yes. Alright, so I'm just gonna go here. What about yourself, man? Just wanna actually check out one thing, because this thing I'm sure has... so let's take a look at this difference between this fella here Let me just grab this and smack it in here. And then let's grab, ah shit, shouldn't have closed that, doesn't matter, okay. Let's just open it up here again. And this fella, I think in my opinion the only difference should be, there seems to be a little bit, yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah man, thank you very much. Likewise, in case you're going somewhere, man. So let's see what is the difference. This blah 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 BG. So yeah, you can see here, so the second one we just copied, the one that works, has a slight different classes, right? So that is so up until here they're the same. Actually no, up until here they're the same. So what is the difference between them? Let's see, hover text, yeah, so they do have different styles applied. That's super awkward. BG transparent. Wow, okay. So yeah, that is the problem, right? So how the hell are those styles completely, how are they applied completely differently? The only thing that I can think about is that we're not really, so I did inside of Louis GUI, right, somewhere in my SAS file. Give me a second, wait, this is, no, in my, yeah, so I think I did include, right, this bad boy. Yeah, man, like, the only thing you really have to do is just sit and do the work. There's no, if you can close yourself for some time. When I was working at Thinkful, I worked as a mentor for 5.5 years. Most of my students that actually succeeded, there was really just one main difference. Some of them put in a lot of work and some of them didn't. And those who didn't, they obviously failed. So it's kind of very simple. A lot of people are almost looking for some sort of secret wand, a shortcut to things. There's no shortcut, right? You either sit and you do the work or you fail. There's no, it's quite a binary problem, right? Parkmaster Daddy. That's a good one. Alright, so let's, anyway, this is boring like shit, but that's what it is. If it's not fun to watch something else as always. I need to fix this. Yeah, so let's kind of see, right? So it's a very difficult problem, right? Because Tailwind is not really great for libraries like this, right? Because due to its, you know, just-in-time compilation and stuff, it's giving us a little bit issues, right? But I can see when I isolate the library that we open sourced and we use it elsewhere, right? It's fine. It actually does apply proper styles. This is a normal button, right? So that's all cool. So something inside my project here, inside of frontend, is messing it up. I don't know if it's some of the configuration we have here or whatever. I mean, with mastery of anything, right? That time is gonna go down, right? So, but that's really, I mean, you don't need a book about programming, right? How should I learn programming? To learn anything, you need to put in the effort. I mean, there's no. I always laugh at these things like how do I X? You do it by laying down whole night and day and staring at the ceiling, right? Well, not really, right? You need to put in the work. So and most people are not willing to put in the work. That's why they procrastinate and they just search for things to shorten that path. You cannot shorten it. There's no if there was shortcut, we wouldn't be making this much money as software engineers. If it was easy, everybody would already be doing it, right? So there's no shortcuts there. It's quite simple. If you want to do it, you have to put in sweat and tears and blood into your ass, sit down in that chair and just code and build and code and build and fail and repeat that. And this applies to really anything. If you want to get good at anything, you need to put in the work. It's just it's a very basic, primitive common sense, right? Fuck, is it maybe because of this dark crap, man? I think we should just get rid of all of this. Maybe this is messing up everything, right? Because we don't really use this. We have our own theme builder that I built, right? Let me just go ahead and get rid of all of this crap, right? Because there's no dark styles anywhere, right? And let me make sure that I don't remove too much by accident. So dark selection. You should find balance, right? I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that you get sick or demotivated, right? So nothing can be forced. Again, things take time, right? Of course that if you spend 8 hours a day doing something, that you're gonna probably do better than somebody who puts in, you know, an hour a day. But there's also balance. There's also diminishing returns, right? You can't expect yourself to be productive 8 hours a day. I mean, that's impossible. The best of the best can't do that, right? So you need continuity and consistency. You don't need this explosion of emotions for 4 days, like you're motivated and then you quit. It's better to be continuous and show continuity and consistency and do it 3 hours a day, but do it for a year, then sit and do it for 8 hours a day and then quit in a week, right? That is the problem. You need to find the balance, right? But you need to find continuity, consistency, and understand that everything that's difficult, right, takes time. So you don't even have to do 4 hours. Do 3 hours, do 2 hours, but do it day by day by day by day, and do it by month. And after a year, you're gonna be some sort of developer already. You're gonna be able to build things. And by 1.5 years, you're already gonna have a job, right? But it's consistency that matters. It's the same with gym. It's the same with anything in life, right? It's not this burst of sudden emotions, you know, that you get for like a week, and then you're like, you know, then you disappear. It doesn't work like that, right? So it's not about quantity now, it's about continuity and quantity over time, right? That is the difference. It's the same with the stream, it's the same with any side project, it's the same with everything in life, right? You need just continuity, you need to consistently do something. And that's really the secret. There's no, if you want to build a side project, you want to succeed with it, you need to show up day by day by day, and you need to do that for a long time, right? That's really all that you need. There's no other secrets, right? You cannot speed up the learning process of programming. You can speed it up a little bit by spending a little bit more time. But the time that you need to put in, you simply have to put in. There's no secret about that, right? It's simply impossible. Just enjoy it, man. I mean, if you need to force it, then it's a little bit scary. You should be programming because it's enjoyable and it's fun, and it's something you want to do rather than something that you must do. Because if you are in a zone where you must do it, then it's already bad. Then you should be very careful into getting into programming industry at all. If programming is something that you have to push yourself to do rather than want to do, right? Because because the job is already hard enough. Let me just see. I'm trying. Leo, my friend, good evening. I love you, man. What's up? Yeah, I mean, if you need to push yourself to do it, right? Then it's not good. Okay, now I got it. Yeah. So make sure that you're programming because you want to, not because you must to. Because otherwise you're gonna be very miserable at this job. Very miserable. Yeah, so some of these classes are simply not applied. And that is the problem. Some of these classes are simply not applied, and that is the problem. Yeah, but maybe you're just panicking a little bit. Maybe it's just anxiety and stuff like that, right? And I think that anxiety comes from the fact that you want to do something faster than it's possible. And if it was easy, and if it was that easy, Just everybody would do it, and everybody would make just 6 grand, you know, in a year, right? And this is what courses are telling you, influencers, YouTube gods, Twitter. Just sit, finish this course, and you're rich already. You don't even have to fucking work, man. It's just take my money. Just show up somewhere at the door and people give you a job instantly. They're just like drowning you in money. This is what you're being promised, which is why you're being pressured. Not you, I mean, a lot of younger people as well. You're just being bullshitted at. You're being lied at. Anybody can code. Just buy this course and boom, 6 grand, right? Well, yeah. Yeah, just buy this course, right? Instantly rich. Don't even study. Just buy my course, and I promise you, you're instantly 6 grand. This is how these influencers are selling bullshit to you, to all of you people who are trying to learn. It's ridiculous, man. I genuinely would like ban those people from the internet. It's fucking crazy, man. Anybody can code, man. Anybody. Your grandma can code. Anybody can code, bro. If you just spend $69.99 on my course, right? So easy, bro. It's like, why do you even have to code, right? Just buy my course. Yeah, it's so easy, man. You know, I've been just, you know, I'm dumb as fuck, right? I've been programming for 15 years professionally, 16 almost. And you see, I struggle with problems. It seems that I'm so fucking stupid, man. Because I don't know why I didn't just buy these $69.99 courses and I just became developer in half a year instead of spending 15 years, right? I mean, what a fool, man. How much can I suck? It's incredible, man. If I just bought that $69.99, that's it. That's great. What really? Hanulak? Oh my god, Hanulak is one of the guys that was one of the first people in my stream. Ah, fuck, I was looking at the wrong thing. Good evening, Hanulak, my friend. I thought you forgot about me, man. What, for $9.99, I will not even pronounce your name. You know that already, Hanulak. But good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing fine, dude. Good evening, Lex. The project is it's going fine, right? I mean, what is to say, right? It's going forward. People always ask me that question, and I love the question because I can always give them the honest feedback. It's moving forward, right? And that's really all, right? That's the continuity. I'm not, you know, saying words that I'm not sharing empty philosophy that I don't follow myself. I've been streaming now for a year, and I've been showing up every instance that I could to build this platform, right? And I mean, we have more than 1,000 people signed up. I mean, it's not going maybe to a degree that it would go if I was doing this full time. Of course not. It would be a different story, but it's going, right? I mean, every week, every day, something new is fixed or implemented. So, right? So it's kind of the continuity and consistency that I continuously talk about in this stream. Redux Saga, good evening, buddy. So in a way, it's good, man, right? It's you know, it's all that really matters is that it's going, right? And I think that's really all that one has to focus on, right? Yeah. I mean, you know, I have a wife and a kid and a full-time job and everything. So I mean, honestly, it's going great if you ask me, because it's moving forward. It's not moving backwards, right? If the circumstances maybe were different, if I had the time to do this full-time, of course, things would be vastly different. Absolutely. Of course they would, right? But things are not different, hence, you see where this philosophy goes. Things are not different, so you have to adjust to your possibilities, capabilities, the time that you have, and then spend in the time that you have, right? This is the huge issue with people who plan too much. You plan against illogical circumstances, right? No, I never think about quitting my job, Nitrin. I love my full-time job. I love being with my colleagues. I love making customers happy. I love the product where I'm working. I love being a tech lead. I love helping people. I love being in a, I love being in a meeting room on a whiteboard with my team, brainstorming next objective and key result. These are the things that truly fulfill me the most. So no. I mean, will I have a company again in a couple of years? For sure. Probably when, if we get acquired, when Dream Data gets acquired, when I sell my shares, I have like a lot of shares at this current company, then I'm going to probably, not work for a year, just maybe do Programmer Network full-time, or maybe I'm gonna stream full-time for a year and build something completely different. Who knows? But so far, I love my team. It's a bunch of great people, beautiful people, smart people, smarter people than me, right? And you want to surround yourself by people who are better than you, of course, because otherwise you just stagnate and you don't learn anything, right? So no, right now I love my workspace, I love my team, so I would not change that. How long? I mean, we're working on this every week a little bit, Moshiko. We spent 7-8 hours every week on this in the stream, but you can see I'm talking to you now, so I'm not really coding, so it's hard to evaluate, right? I mean, but who knows, right? But I love building products that people use. That's why I wanted to build this product. I thought that more people would be interested to have their own network, the nerd network, right? So it's not that the code that I'm writing that excites me, it's the product that I want people to use that excite me, right? Because at the end of the day, who gives a shit about the code? When you go to when you go to some website, this website either provides some value to you or not, so you're not inspecting the code of that website, right? So at the end of the day, who cares, right? BG primary, okay, but let me just shut the fuck up for a second. Okay, Flint, thank you very much, buddy. It's always good when people say something, right? It's sometimes so awkward. I'm just coding here and I'm thinking, why did I click stream? I could have just coded this, made myself a tea or coffee, but it's good when people say a word at least. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for... Whenever you need help in person, Leo, I'm always happy to jump with Discord and you. I told you. I'm not gonna introduce some childish fucking emojis here in chat, man. This is not kindergarten here, right? Whenever you need help, I'm there for you, man. At work, help at work, whatever. To all of you guys who are sticking around, you know that I mean that, right? It's just giving you emojis because you've been here with me for a year. That would be very underwhelming for you, I'm sure. Oh, I've spent 400 hours watching Alex, but he's so full of heart and he gave me 4 more emojis. Wow. What a way back to give to community, right? Isn't it? 25 gold. Good evening, my friend. Alright, so guys, shut the fuck up now, okay? I just need to... I'm staring at this button for 20 minutes and I'm thinking, what am I even doing here, okay? Shut up, Leo, okay? let me just try to fix it. So, okay, so we missed... okay. So we missed the... So on a full-fledged button on... Yeah. Okay, wait. Let me just. Okay, so I'm really sick of this because it's kind of ridiculous that I'm looking at this for like past 30 minutes. I just need to finish it because it's been giving me headaches, right? Past 2 days. We released a few of the libraries. I open sourced some of the stuff from Programmer Network, but now Tailwind is behaving a little bit weird because this library now has to also import its own CSS, right? So when you build like we build this Yale thing, right? So when you build a component library in Tailwind, you also have to export the CSS that this just-in-time compiler from Tailwind generated, and I did that. But now there's something off. So if I isolate, the library that we built here, for instance, it works. And actually, I think we nailed it. I think it's good now. I think this is what we're missing. So we're missing. So this is not. So this is an outline button. Let's see. It's transparent text primary. That's correct. And I think if I actually just go quickly to my database, give me a sec, let's go to this workspace. So if we go to a database and I go to the users, right, and I give myself some username just so we can bypass that the screen, right? So if we go to the dashboard, for instance, and profile, yeah, fuck yes, good. So we almost got it. Okay, so I think actually, oh my god, finally. Okay, last night I was fighting a battle with this, and actually last night I figured out what it was. So I had to actually import the actual distribution CSS from Yale, and we will need to update the README of the repository now, because if anybody tried to install this component library, they got no style, right? So that's great. So I think the only thing that we actually missed now, if I go to Storybook, play one game, he's back. His girlfriend let him watch me. Finally. Programmer works. Okay, so going back here, so BG primary is correct. Hover transparent is correct. Hover text primary is not correct. Hover text primary is not correct. No. So this is not correct. So because, yeah, so this is not correct. This is correct. Hover text primary background color is correct, I think. Right? No. It is correct. It is correct. Okay. Fuck. Give me a second here. No. Actually, wait a minute. No. This is correct. This is correct now. No. It's good. It's great. It's great. I think that's it. Okay. So we'll redeploy this now, and I hope that this was the issue, right? I genuinely hope that this was the issue, right? Let me see. So Tailwind CSS. So yes, last night I removed this style. I imported this from separate files into a central place. Custom CSS properties are here. I localized the CSS to this component here, right? So this is okay. I think this. Oh, there's more changes. What did I change? Okay, I changed something in the Tailwind. Yeah, I renamed this file. Fine. Yeah, I renamed the file, and we kind of added this missing class. Great. And then, yeah, we removed, well, this is due to renaming. Okay, so I'm almost confident that we got it fucking finally. Okay, so let me just go to npm. We need to publish this. Let me just go to my npm and see. Where is it? Where is the library? Yeah, Programmer Network KL is. I published it yesterday, last time, and it's this version, right? So we need to republish 37, right? Yes. Let's add this. Let's say fix the missing class name, missing utility class on filled button. Yes, and now we need to do here, we need to create a new tag, right? Because we built our continuous integration to react to new pushed tags, and then it's gonna do the release and all of that stuff. So yeah, so if we do this, that's great. And then if we go to GitHub, and if we go to our organization and find that repository, I guess it's Yale, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So let's go to actions, and yeah, here's our CI. So the tag is there. That's good. Let's just make sure that it's the right commit. So let's take a look at this commit hash here. Yeah, looks great. I think that's good. And then we'll go to our workspace over here. Let's get into a Zen mode. Why is it not? Yeah, actually, let me just kill the debugger and then get in a Zen mode and then run all of the processes again. I'll just close this new window because we have it there, and then we'll prepare the install here. So I'm gonna say npm. So I'll say npm pmi. Yeah, and then we're gonna do this. And now we have to wait for our continuous integration server to deploy this to npm, and then we're gonna install it, and hopefully we can move away from that crap because it's not it's seriously annoying like hell. Let me just reconnect my Stream Deck. This asshole here, it seems to be lagging a bit. 200 euros worth of plastic. Alrighty, so now we're publishing to npm. Let's go into this pipeline thing. Actually, yesterday during lunchtime, I spoke to my colleague Jeremy. He leads the content creation team at Dream Data, and we discussed actually the AI. And he said that for generating text, AI still sucks ass. And actually, it does if you think about it, because the amount of hyperboles and inflating of things whenever you ask it to write. You know, sometimes I go and I was like, hey, can you help me improve my video YouTube title? And I never took a suggestion yet a single time, because I'm like, I want to record the video on workspaces and VS Code, and the title that AI generates is like the most mind-blowing VS Code setup in the galaxy. If you do, it's like, dude, calm down, man. It's just a video that explains debugger and workspace. And then I realized, like, actually, you know what? Let me just use my own title. And it does the same with articles and stuff. It's ridiculous. Just inflates things so much. It's crazy. Improve my mail. Yeah, exactly. Let's rerun this. Okay, let's see this now. Yes, motherfucker, finally. Jesus Christ, man. How hard is it to make a button? Obviously super hard. Jesus Christ, man. I never struggled with the button in myself. In my life, I do not have a button in myself, just so you know. If you know what I mean. Alright, good, great, yes, okay. Now we need to update the readme of our beautiful library. Shit, that's what we forgot. Ah, doesn't matter, let's just do it. So where is the, we need to update the readme, pm blah blah blah. You have to make sure to import the generated see the CSS file generated by Yale, as we are using Tailwind CSS. The grammar of this is so bad that I will have to give it to the robot. Let's open up our Jean-Code Van Debug. For those of you who don't know, I have my own LLM. It's called Jean-Code Van Debug. You can check it out here. All right, improve this sentence. It's for my README MD in an open source library. I need to tell other basement dwellers to set up to include the CSS file. Yeah, play one game. It's yeah, so let's actually fix that, because that's a regression for sure. That's a regression. All right, what the hell was I doing? Oh, I was updating the README here, right? So I think, like you said, play one game. I think they messed something up. I think, oh fuck! I think I know why. Because wait a minute. Let me go to my settings. My GPTs. Let's go there. No, come on, man. Yeah, here it is. Jean-Code Van Debug. Come on, dude. Let me edit this. Because I think there was something about the privacy that I was supposed to do. Wait, configure. I think it was complaining about something. I wanted to... Wait, is this correct? Can you access this link maybe? But I think I was supposed to do some legal related stuff. I don't remember what it was actually. Wow, that's so strange, man. Why? Why? Ah, it says only me here. Why does it say only me? I mean, this is a public thing, no? Oh, yeah, okay. Public actions require valid privacy policy. Click here to update. So I need some privacy policy, right? So, but what privacy policy, right? Redux Saga, no, I don't think. I mean, we have built the whole thing on a stream, but you would have to find record. But I mean, I can record a very gladly video on that if it would be interesting to some people, right? Generate a privacy policy now. Become compliant. Just for $9.99 a month, we gonna generate a privacy policy for you. No, okay, but I'll do this off stream. I don't think this is fun, but I need to, I guess, write some policy myself on who can do what with this. I don't actually know. What privacy policy, dude? Okay, let's do a little bit of irony. Can you generate the privacy policy so I can share you with others, my dear Jean-Code Van Debug? I think it's a valid question. As an AI developed by OpenAI, don't have personalized privacy policy that can be shared for individual use. The interactions with me are governed by OpenAI's use case policies and privacy terms. If you consider sharing information about me or interaction with me, it's more keep me in mind these guidelines. Confidential information about sharing sensitive personal information, confidential data in our interactions. User guidelines, my response should be used in accordance with the OpenAI guidelines, which generally prohibit deceptive, harmful, or illegal use. Non-personalization, and I have the ability to remember personal data about users and past interactions to ensure privacy and confidentiality. Yeah. I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. I'll figure it out off stream. Fuck it. It's irrelevant for now, right? And, you know, I don't even like you guys. I don't even want you to have my LLM, right? So you can dream about it and that's it. Alright, so we've added this thing, so if anybody wants to use this, they know that they actually have to include the CSS. Alright, great. Oh my god, seeing my buttons work again. It's like I climbed the Mount Everest. I don't know why does it feel so good. Ooh, so beautiful. Look at this button. How beautiful can it be? Let's just take a minute of silence for this beautiful button here, shall we? Look at this thing. I cannot zoom anymore. Look at this. How beautiful can that be? So amazing. So great. How intelligent is Alex on a scale of 9 to 10? Okay, let's not get into that. Okay, so now we need to push this to production as well, so because we now have 15 different libraries to work with. So programmer network Yale. Oh, actually I did that. I think, did we do that? I guess we did that. So if I go, oh, wait, if I go to production, oh yeah, exactly. No. Did I not deploy it? Please tell me that I didn't deploy it. No, I didn't deploy it. I don't, yeah, I didn't deploy it. Good, all good. Whew. That was, I almost was getting sweaty. I was getting sweaty there. Can I keep this important true whatsoever? I just need to make sure of that, right? So if I go to localhost again, are we able to keep this thing? No, fuck, we can't. No, I think, wait. Whew. Oh. Sweating here a little bit. Whew. Oof. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding, guys. Shut the fuck up. Okay. No, so we can't have this important thing, right? And that's fine. Okay, fine. All good. No, don't worry. Our infrastructure is perfect. I spend that. We do 4 backups a day of everything pretty much. So what's happening with my mouse, man? It's kind of losing itself. All right, so beautiful. We don't actually should just set this to latest, I think, and that's it. But bump Yale, commit, and sync. And then if we get to our where's this repo? We have to find this repo now. So if we go over here and go back here, actually that was the right repository. Okay. So if we go to Cloudflare pages, fucking 150 euros mouse gets allergic to dust. All right, cool. Give me a second. Let's just go to CI to see it doing what it's doing. Yes. Man, I remember those ball mouses. I remember maybe around 20 years ago I played Counter-Strike 1.2, and back then laser mouses didn't exist. It was just this ball, so you would, in the middle of the match we played Counter-Strike competitively. Back then it was like a start of Counter-Strike. In the middle of the match you just had too much hair on that ball in your mouse, and your mouse would just like completely go crazy. So in the middle of the match I just remember you take that super heavy mouse, you twist the plastic, you get the ball out, you clean the ball, you put it back in quickly, and if you're lucky, nobody shots you. It was amazing days, man. And I remember then laser mouses came out. Wow, man, that was like a space shuttle. Like we went to the moon. That discovery, right? It was crazy. Actually, real life reloading, 100%, man. Like, dude, I remember it was literally like that. Now, Razer doesn't suck. Shut the fuck up, Leo. Don't be a parrot, man. If anything, you learned in this stream to not repeat what other people. I have a bunch of Razer products, and they never broke. They never broke ever. Razer sucks. I read that on an article. Jesus Christ, man. I mean, you're not. I mean, come on, man. You're not gonna buy a fucking Razer chair, man. I mean, what next? You're gonna buy Razer underwear. You're gonna buy Razer vitamin D, right? Come on, man. I mean, you can buy a mouse, a keyboard. That's what they do well. You don't buy a fucking Razer chair, man. It's like what is next? Like Razer vibrator, right? I mean, come on. Of course that it's gonna break. I mean, they're not experts. They found some Chinese company, they put a shitty Razer logo on the chair, and it's like, oh, well, now we have the chairs as well, right? I mean, that's literally how it works. I mean, when I was working at Airtime, our device was produced in China. It still is. And actually, what most people don't know is this is how it works. So when I was working at Airtime, right? When you buy the Airtime device, right? You basically, it says made in Denmark. On the actual device, it says made in Denmark. But actually, you know how it works? We send the parts from the factories in China to Poland. In Poland, they assemble it, they send it to us, to Copenhagen, and what's actually made in Denmark is only the software that's made, in everything else is made in China, assembled in Poland because it's cheaper. So it's the same with Razer chairs, like, oh, Razer chair, shut the fuck up, man. They took some random shitty chair and put a Razer logo on it, right? I mean, literally, that's it. No, don't take me wrong. I'm not suggesting that it being made in China that it's bad. I'm just suggesting that those brands, they're selling you these items almost as if they're making them by hand, right? And they, like guitars, for example, I have like 15 guitars, right? A lot of these guitars, most of them today are made in China. They're made on these very precise machines, so there's almost no craftsmanship anymore involved. It's just machines very precisely cutting, and they're printing these items, which is why they can make them cheaper, right? Because if you remove the human from equation, then things become very cheap, right? So just remove the actual human and things become at least 2 times cheaper, right? And that's what sold Razer chair. I mean, you don't buy the Razer chair, you buy the Razer keyboard, Razer mouse, maybe even the headphones, even though they're not audio companies. If you want good headphones, you buy Bose or even Plantronics or, you know, stuff like that, right? So there's certain brands that do certain things well, right? If you want a camera, you know who makes the best sensors, but you wouldn't buy it, right? I mean, I don't know. I would never buy a gaming chair again. I mean, I have this chair. I have this Secret Lab crap. I don't think that gaming chairs are good in general. I mean, they're not very comfortable. You should probably buy ergonomic chair, right? You can go... and those chairs are expensive like hell, right? I mean, this chair is like, I don't know, 800 euros, right? This is a great chair. This is like a proper stuff made by actual professionals who know how the chair should be made to support your back, to support your neck, to support your head. So next chair I'm gonna buy is gonna be something like this, right? A gaming chair, I mean, come on, right? Yeah, you're very tall. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, and then I have, you know, I have this small stool. I have something like this. It's, you know, I have this one. Wait. Yeah, fuck, you can't see it now. But it's this like chair, right? It's almost like this tire wheelchair, right? Like a tire chair, yeah. Motherfuckers. All right, well, that's what it is. Okay, shut up now. So I'm actually very happy that this finally works. Jesus Christ, man, it was so hard. All right. Okay, so that's good. So let's take a look at the backlog. Let's see what I want to do next, right? Is this my local host? It is. Yes, okay. So let's take a look at our Grafana. Was there any errors? Shit. Let's go to Cloudflare. All right, let's see if we actually had any if we had any errors past, let's say, 12 hours, 24 hours. So no errors. Okay, so that's good. This is just the unknown keyword secure string. So somewhere in the front end we had a we're using secure string. So yeah, so that's a little bit weird. Let's just let's maybe, yeah, there's a lot of shit to go through, but let me just make sure that I haven't forgotten when I replaced everything with this new library we released, use AJV form. Let's make sure that I've in fact passed custom keywords in all places where this fella is actually used. So what is this? This is dashboard user settings. Okay, so user settings. Let me actually make sure this file remains opened. Let's go to user settings. Account settings, I guess. Custom keywords, yes. Forgot password. Forgot password. Did I switch use AJV form? Yeah, beautiful. Custom keywords, that's good. Yes. Profile experience. So let's go. I'm almost sure that I did here as well. Yeah. But did I include custom keywords is the question. Use AJV form. Where are you? Use AJV. No. It's not here. Okay, sorry. Let's go to experience then. Use AJV form. Just give me 2 seconds, guys. I need to. Custom keywords. Yes. Finalize sign up. Finalize sign up. Use AJV form. Okay, I did good. I was almost like, okay. So that all looks great. So when did these errors happen? Did I include the timestamp? So they happened today at 4 o'clock. Unknown keyword, secure string, vendor, assets vendor. Fuck yeah, this call stack is a little bit useless, right? A little bit more useless, right? Array, filter, object code, always valid schema. Obi, my friend, good evening. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this has happened somewhere. It kind of worries me a little bit because... Ayla Croft, good evening, friend. How are you? What's new? No, not much. Just chilling out here with the fellas, and yeah, pretty much that's it. What about yourself? Obi, I'm just working on nothing in particular, just improving things. You know, we're almost kind of done with integrating these 2 libraries we recently open sourced, so I'm very happy about that finally. So I have almost, and yeah, off stream in the next upcoming days, I'm gonna replace all the components. I'm gonna use all the components from Yale, this library that we open sourced. So good, man. And then we're back more or less fully onto improving features and building new things. So for almost a month or 2, as I also haven't really streamed much, it's been really about making a few steps back, you know, cleaning up some things. Yeah, just building building software inside a stream is a very different experience than building it when you are offline on your own, because we do a lot of things differently, right? So yeah. Finally, Sunny here, and just back from getting from red light therapy. I sound like a plan. Happy to be here. Well, I live in Copenhagen, so we haven't had any sun for more than a month, actually. For more than a month, we actually, literally, I haven't seen the sun at all. So, custom keywords. Okay, I'm sorry. I just need to skim through this very quickly because I saw that error, and I want to make sure that, yeah, I don't actually know where that and how that is happening. String, invalid email, invalid password. Sun is shining, the weather is sweet, yeah. Make you wanna move. To the rescue, here I am. Somebody's writing in Chinese, Korean, Japanese, I don't fucking know. I mean, dude, if you can't see that we're not talking that language here, like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Seriously. You're either, I don't know. Jesus Christ. I don't fucking know what it is. I don't know what it is. The Key West vibe. Yeah, I would pay for some sun now, for sure. I just need to go through this to ensure. Chinese don't have internet, says a guy from Poland. What a guy to troll. Ironically, most of my best friends are from Poland. What a sad life. I usually ask them, do you guys have electricity? They usually answer no. That's what it is. That's the type of jokes from Slavs. Slavs don't have normal jokes, right? We just like to insult each other. We love the insults. They're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Okay, so here, man, we're missing fucking custom keywords. Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me, man? Why are you talking to yourself, man? Jesus Christ. Okay. China. Well, welcome, my friend. Two of my colleagues at work are from China, and they're absolutely amazing in every sense. Genuinely, like, machines, literally. Like, nobody has a work ethic like Chinese. Like, we're just being realistic. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just how we function, right? That's how, you know, our history is very bloody, right? So we don't know different, right? I mean, first thing I asked my friend, you know, at work is like, you know, did you guys get electricity yet? I do the same with Greeks. I do the same with others, right? Okay, so this is great. This is good. So actually, we did find a place. We did find a place. It was this one. And that's really good. Great. Okay, let's push this to production immediately. I have a cow in the room. That's a next level Slav. That's a old-fashioned next level Slav. He probably has a bunch of chicks who think that's super cool. Ooh, you have a cow at home. Oof, oh wow, boy. That is I love, we hate each other internally, but when we are outside our countries, man, it cannot be further from the truth. I always laugh at that. But it's not the hate, man. I don't think it's hate. I think it's competition. You know what's the biggest paradox of Slavs, right? We actually have very high expectation and standards. That is the problem. Like, people don't realize this, but it's true. Like, we have super high standards. That's why we label everybody as stupid, and we're very prone to criticizing others, right? Also because we're assholes, of course, right? But besides being an asshole, right? If we ignore the fact that we're assholes, then, right? All right, let's go here and let's go here. And let's take a look at this fella. Yeah, but don't mistake this, Leo, with not being humble. I think that Slavic people are incredibly humble. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be a home in the whole galaxy, like a Slavic home, where you're gonna, if you come and visit me, I'm gonna feed you until you die. And then when you wanna go home, I will feed you again, right? And then I will pack shit so you can carry home so you can eat more, etc., etc., etc. So I don't think it's related to is humbleness, right? It's rather just the way that we are perceived because of we are more like extrovert than maybe some other nations, right? But yeah, I mean, Yeah, but genuinely, I mean, you know, when I was very young, maybe even 25 years ago, there was this couch surfing website where you could kind of register yourself as a host, and those people who are hitchhiking all over the world, they can just hit you up and say, hey, can we sleep over? And I remember, you know, back then when I was living with my parents in the Balkans, you know, I would give them my room, right, to sleep, and they were shocked. There were people from Canada, Australia, Germany, all over the world, and you know, my parents would just bring up the whole table of everything in front of them, right? And they were like completely confused. It's like, why are you doing that, right? You know, what is happening, right? It's because that's how we are, man. That's the I can you know, I can speak on behalf of all nations in the Balkans and also Slavs. I think that's just how culturally people are, and I'm not exaggerating. I think that's how most people that I know are. And no, yeah. Let's just test certain things just to make sure that everything is still operating. It is. I know that you guys love the white theme, so that's why. Yeah, I mean, man, I have friends in Macedonia. We say Macedonia. We have songs from Macedonia, you know, and stuff like that. So it's people think that there's hate. I disagree with that. I think it's just it's almost like, you know, it's almost something that every country in the world has. You know, here in Denmark, people compete. Imazdren, good evening, man. Hello from Denmark. How are you doing? Bright light. But yeah, I don't believe that. I believe that it's just a matter of like here in Denmark, people are like saying, oh, those Swedes, those Norwegians. Probably people in Norway are saying, oh, those those Danes, right? It's just like a normal kind of teasing type of stuff, right? You're from Seattle. Yeah, most of my family is in the US. Some of them in Phoenix, in Arizona. Some of them in some other places. Trace, what is this? Trace, define properties and simulate different conditions for HTTPS request to trace through Cloudflare. Inactive rules will not be valid. Enter Cloudflare proxy URL you wish to run a trace. Ah, this is like a... Right. I have several Swedes at my work, and they're one of the kindest people I met in my life. So introverts to a point of being cute. It's crazy. Okay. I have a comment. When I fill in my interest, I looked for Tailwind, and when I didn't find it, I pressed enter. Then what I wanted to do, maybe. I have a comment. When I fill in my interest, I looked for Tailwind. Okay, let's take a look. Some of these bugs, like all ago, like I feel I just want to narrow all of this shit down, and then we can. So somebody said if I search for Tailwind and I press enter, oh, I see, right? So you can see what we just did. He was like searching for a tag that doesn't exist, but when you press enter, we basically submit the form, right? Yeah, so let's maybe fix that. That's a super simple one, right? No, it's not a problem, right? It's just not something. I like this. Somebody reported this long ago, right? So that's great. Let's just fix it. And I know exactly why it's happening, because we instead of using someone click on the button, right, we're using handle submit here. So technically it's a very simple thing, right? Only thing we need to do is we need to get rid of this, right? Actually, we'll leave that. We'll just say E and then E dot prevent default, or we don't have to use the form at all. Actually, there's no point in using the form here at all, right? So let's just get rid of that. I don't know why I'm doing that in the first place, right? So we can just have a div in here, right? So we say div, right? And then here on click, we can say, on click, and then we can call handle submit, right? And we probably wanna, Madman, thank you very much, buddy, for the follow. And then instead of handle submit, let's call this handle save or whatever, right? Then we can get rid of this because we basically no longer need that, right? Thank you everybody for your follows. And then now if we do this, fuck, that's production, sorry. So if we go back to localhost, right? What happened there? Did we wait a minute, I know, yeah, we can't call this. We need to pass a reference to this function, right? Not invoke it, right? All right, so let's try this again. Yeah, so if we do this now again, it shouldn't save anything, right? If we say Tailwind, yeah, actually Tailwind isn't here. That's a little bit strange. We should probably add that tag. But if I say this now, so yeah, so if I hit enter in an input, nothing should happen. So you need to actually go and click save now, right? So yeah, so let's just search for that in general, right? So we have a bunch of these forms. Let's just globally, right? Just yeah. So I'm gonna say div. I'm gonna say div, so we don't actually invoke that submission thing, right? And we don't also need to prevent the default and stuff like that. And then we're gonna say here on click, right? We're gonna pass a reference again, and we're gonna say handle save, and then we're gonna get rid of this, and then there's, yeah, this is still gonna get some event, of course. It's gonna get passed right to this function, but yeah, okay. And then we need to do the same for all of this crap, right? And let's actually be careful, because maybe I am somewhere on purpose using an actual form event, but I don't think so. It's hard to imagine that, because we're using use AJV everywhere. I don't think, yeah. So here, let's handle save. Beautiful. All right. Where did I just change that there, right? And where is this ending here? So this is actually a nice one, just to get out of the yeah, just to. And there are some that we will probably want to keep, right? Like logging in, signing up. You probably, when you hit enter, you want to try logging in, right? So let's not forget that there's some. So actually this one we don't want to change, right? So here, when I hit enter, like you're trying to sign in, right, to log in. So in here it would be annoying, right, if you have to click the button every time, right? So you want this to invoke that event, right? So let's be careful there. So forgot password is fine, sign in is fine, right? Sign up is fine as well. New article isn't fine, right? So we for sure know that we don't want that here, right? So we'll just get rid of that. And yeah, we'll get rid of this event. So we'll actually turn this into a handler function somewhere here. So let's just say here const handle save, and this, right? Yeah, this is a little bit awkward, but that's what it is. So if it's an update, return handle update. And why do I actually have to do this? Give me a second. Handle cancel. Okay, that's a little bit weird, because I already had it here. So that's I mean, that's okay. So I don't actually even know why the hell do I need this. But I mean, we can use it instead of having this ternary operator in here, right? We can just have, so we reduce this, yeah. Okay, so handle save. Man, I really need to figure that out. I don't know if I should just start paying for the software that can separate, you know, my audio so we can do it. I don't actually know, but I'm sick of this music, and I really like. It's just like if I go to our YouTube channel, right? Since I started making these videos, and since I started streaming on YouTube, I can see that, you know, people are subscribing day by day, right? You know, so it's like if I do that, then I can just say goodbye to YouTube, and it's something that's gonna, right, be useful to this project, right? Some exposure. I mean, you know, we're just 1,270 followers, but in a half a year it might be 5,000 or 3,000, right? So it's an incremental process that you have to go through. So, but I'm with you, right? We need to get rid of that. I wish that most people would watch me on YouTube, for example, because then I would actually stop streaming on Twitch, because Twitch is not the right audience for the most part, right? Actually, let me just Give me 1 second. Let me try to do one thing and then I can show you. So if I go to Crystal, why do you say that? I'm actually genuinely interested. Like, why do you think so? Because maybe it does. What it is that you are actually, what it is that you're missing on YouTube? Why do you think that it sucks, for example, relative to let's say something else? Never mind. Yeah, but I think that's something. Yeah, but I think. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think on YouTube we can have a lot better. It's just like there's something wrong with YouTube. You can see here on my screen, actually, if I show you. Fuck, you actually can't see it. But I'm streaming like 12,000, you know, bits to YouTube. So I'm streaming a lot higher quality to YouTube than I am to Twitch, right? So it's actually strange that YouTube should be crisp clear, to be honest. Noob question, how do you deal with high quality images that you would want to display on desktop but not on mobile? Do you downsize the image? Well, I mean, you can deal with that, you know, in different ways. For example, you can just load a different image in mobile, right? You don't really load the same image, right? You load a different one. You can't really downscale the image like that, right? You have... But if you guys think that the quality is better here on Twitch than on YouTube, then I have to do something about it, because I'm streaming like... I'm probably one of the few streamers that I stream like at the absolute best quality. Like, I've increased all the numbers to the max, because, you know, this machine is literally insane. I have RTX, let me show you actually. I have, you know, DDR5 RAM almost running on 6000 megahertz. I have 16 core CPU. I have RTX 4070 Ti, right? So I mean, I can stream. It's not that I can stream at 40,000, right? It's just it's about what these platforms can support, right? You can see that I'm streaming to 2 platforms and my computer is barely doing anything, right? You see my CPU is at like 20%, right? So I can, it's just, right? I mean, I'm streaming both on YouTube and I'm streaming on both places right now, right? So I'm streaming to both places right now. Thank you everybody for your follows, I appreciate it. I just want to try one thing, please bear with me, because there was one thing that I actually wanted to and let me just close this. What is this project? This is Louis Gui, so we're done with that, so we can close it. So actually what I wanted to say, do here is, let's say width, and I wanted to say like, what are the options, what are utility classes that we have in Tailwind? Like, yeah, maybe let's say no, yeah, but that would be weird, right? It's just I need it to be always the same width so this doesn't glitch when we, yeah, exactly, right. Okay, Crystal, I got it. Okay, thank you, man, for that info. Okay, but it's not about that, Crystal. So, for example, if you guys would watch me on YouTube, let's say, like most people obviously don't subscribe, most people don't support the stream in any way, and that's, I don't care, genuinely. But for example, if all of the people that follow me here would watch on YouTube, I would already be making some money on YouTube just by you people watching. I mean, just by you people doing the same thing that you're doing now. So that is the difference, right? So the difference is that if you're just watching me on Twitch, it's useless. But if you're just watching me on YouTube, it's not useless actually. It counts towards these watch hours and all of that shit. So there's a difference, right? And you know, I have all the ads disabled, right, on Twitch. I never had ads for 1 second, right? They were always disabled, right? So it's kind of, yeah. This is a little bit weird. Give me a second, because this is a little bit strange, okay? But it seems fine now, I think, because now I can see that this shit is not jumping anymore, so that's good. I'll need to test this on my laptop, but actually that's good. So I wonder should we? And I guess somewhere I must have some other Mac suite or whatever that wraps this, right? So app wrapper. The password, let's actually fix it right away. I mean, you don't have to report it. If it doesn't work, let's fix it right away. Because, you know, it's been so long since I implemented that. I mean, just thank you very much for reporting that. Let's fix it right away. Let's fix it on the spot. All right, so let's go log in. Reset password, right? All right, let's go. So let's fix it right away. And thank you, because again, I don't have any end-to-end tests, you know, in place, which are running regularly to catch that, right? So let me just go to my user, just to see. Okay, so this is my email. Let's say email, name, last name, right? So what happens when I click it? Does actually anything happen when I click it? Okay, no problem. Let's go. You don't use container. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I'd rather support you on YouTube. That's yeah, for sure, man. If you can, I mean, if you guys are sometimes watching me, if you're bored and you want to kill some time, I mean, open both tabs if you want. I mean, like, because again, if you wanna in some way give back to this project and me, that's what you can do. You don't have to subscribe, you don't have to, you know, whatever. If you're gonna watch and you don't care, then for sure. Okay, so it seems that this shit, let's see, forgot password, so let's see. Okay, Chandel forgot password. Okay, so something is wrong here, right? Let's see what it is. Probably. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I see what's happening. Well, there's, yeah, I know, yeah, this is a regression, so this is already gonna work now. So we just need to make this a submit button, type submit, right? Lex, my friend, thank you very much, dude. Enjoy your day. I'm saying day because I know it's day in the US, right? You can successfully request a new password. Please check your email for further instructions. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this is gonna actually work in locally, right? But let's see. So you know the thing is Crystal, right? I'm 100% with you, man. My biggest problem, right, is that I don't want to be an influencer, right? I mean, I don't actually fucking remember my password. I don't want to be an influencer, right? I don't want to churn this into that, right? I genuinely want to help people that I can, people who want to be helped, and people who want to discuss things, right? So so yeah, I think now it's good. So I don't want to kind of, yeah, I don't want to sound strange, right? But in a way, so let me tell you one thing. So the way that I work is this. I, for example, sometimes want to record the video, and I want to do it because I want to do it. So I record it and I put it on YouTube, and that makes me happy. Is somebody gonna have patience to spend 6 or 9 minutes to watch? It's up to them. If somebody is impatient to watch a video that lasts 10 minutes, I don't give a shit, honestly, right? So in a way, right, I'm never gonna go and do things just because people have lost capability to focus on anything that's longer than 3 seconds. So in simple words, right, this is not my job, I don't make money off of this, right? I do this for fun, and I do believe that some of the videos that I record genuinely have valid points and things that people can utilize for their own well benefit. But I'm not gonna, you know, narrow down my content to 3 seconds just because people are like, oh, I don't have 6 minutes to watch a video. If you don't have a fucking 6 minutes, man, I don't give a shit. Then don't watch it, right? So, and I want to keep it like that because my own well-being. I don't want to, you know, do this for the sole sake of, you know, satisfying somebody. If you want, watch it. If you don't, I'm sure there's 7 trillion gazillion videos coming out every second on YouTube. That's so I just do it for myself, so I have a reference. So if somebody here asks me something, I can just say, hey, wait a minute, actually I have a video on that, you should check it out, right? And that is the core reason, right? So that's just honest, as always, right? I don't care, man. I mean, this is it's right. I mean, if you like it, watch it. If you don't watch it. I mean, I don't care. That's how it is. It's not that any of us owe anything to each other, right? It's both ways. It's so super simple. Yeah, I mean, look, I get it, right? I mean, people are just drowning, especially younger generations. They're drowning in content, and I sympathize with them. I'm not like I get it, right? I fully get it, right? People, I mean, attention span of people is decreasing by every second as we speak. I get that all, but I don't want to build content like that. I'm not gonna summarize 15 points in 30 seconds just because somebody cannot focus for 9 minutes, right? Or 10 minutes. If you can't focus for 10 minutes, you probably shouldn't watch my video anyway, right? Because you have different issues, and I don't think that you need different type of help. All right, so let's deploy this, and then whoever reported the password reset, please try it again. Just let's wait for a minute, and then you can try it again. And man, I actually noticed with Cloudflare that the build times drastically got faster. I think since they started supporting Node version 20 or something. Let me see if I remember. I think it was Node 20. You see, like, it deploys now in almost less than a minute. So actually it builds it in 58 seconds, which is, I mean, okay, you know, this is free. This is free, right? I mean, I also definitely agree that you shouldn't drag the point that you're making to 40 minutes. I get that. I wouldn't watch that either. But I mean, man, stressing myself to narrow down things from 10 minutes to 3 minutes just because somebody doesn't have patience. Because, you know, like, we need to... It's like we're human, man. Like, the reason why you want to watch a fucking real person talking about something is because you want to build some connection. It's not just about the content, it's about hearing it in a certain way, right? We're not robots. Because if you're kind of impatient and have no motivation in hearing some person out there, then you never should watch a video in the first place. You can go to ChatGPT and ask a question, right? Because technically, right, if you get what I mean, in theory, right, and actually in practice, if you don't want to actually benefit from listening to a real human being talking about something, then you don't really ever have to watch a video in your life. You go to ChatGPT, you get the text response back in 3 paragraphs, and you're like, all right, I mean, you know, it's already sold, right? This is Cloudflare Pages, so it's no, it's not like Vercel. No, I mean, let me just share it with you. Yeah, Sheba, exactly, yeah. Okay, let's check that. Thank you so much for reporting this. That's amazing. Let me go to send. Let's go to SendGrid. Let's see if the email was sent to you. Let's just check if it's free. Yes, it's free. Yeah. I really need to record a video on Cloudflare because a lot of people don't know about Cloudflare, and I've been using Cloudflare for more than a decade and a half. It's crazy that. Give me 1 second. I need my 2-factor authentication. My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Thank you for asking. 18.8.11.8.3. Cloudflare, I don't glorify companies, and in fact, I'm quite an anarchist in that sense. I don't glorify anybody. Cloudflare is the company that I respect the most. And as I said many times, that's probably before maybe I stop working for companies and just focus on my own business, I must work for Cloudflare. For sure, I'm gonna probably in my career maybe spend a year or two working there, because that's the service I've been using 15 years ago. It was always free for the things that I needed. And I kind of have so much, I'm so grateful to them for making these things. I mean, I don't care that they're free today. Now, you know, I'm 35 years old, I can afford anything that they're selling. But you know, when I was a nerd, a small nerd, I was still in high school, right? And I was using Cloudflare back then, man, like getting a free SSL, CDN, you know, all of the shit. It was like, fuck, man, that's what, right? I mean, some of you, you know, are very young here. You know, maybe 15 to 20 years ago, SSL certificates weren't free. So if you wanted to have HTTPS on your website, you literally had to spend like $200 on a certificate, because Let's Encrypt and services like Certbot, they didn't really exist. So if you wanted to have an HTTPS, right, you had to buy a certificate. Yeah, I mean, you still have many companies selling SSL certificates, right? Let me just check. So let's check activity, because let's see if the emails were sent. Database wasn't dropped anytime soon. It was dropped very, very long ago, but this was very long ago. So I can of course check if your account exists, but let's see if stuff was actually sent. So delivered, let me see, where is it? Email API. Activity, I guess activity. Here we should see if all the emails show all activity, right? Let's see, status, clicks, opens. Fuck, let me make sure that I don't expose private information. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure that you don't see any emails in here. Give me 2 seconds. Loading your results. Why is SendGrid a little bit slow? So I did get an email 9 minutes ago. So I did get an email. So I did get an email, but I don't see that you got an email. So I don't think that you actually are signed up to the service. I think that's the problem. Maybe your account has been removed or something like that, but very, very long ago. So because I can see that email actually is being said. Yes, I am from the Balkans originally. I mean, I'm not living in the Balkans for many years, for more than a decade, but yes, I am from there. Your old account still exists, but yeah, are you sure that that's the right email that you used? Because I don't see, I can see that, so you can see like a minute ago, you can see that I just got the password reset password request, right? So this is when I tried with my own email, right? So so it's a little bit weird, right? Because I do see it, and I see some other email today. Somebody signed up. I'm not gonna obviously read the email out loud. Craft. Okay, give me a second. Jcraft. Okay, interesting. Let me just check you out. Okay, I'm gonna just do it on the off screen so I don't share your email. But let me open you up in a dashboard. Let me just, and then I'm gonna ask you a question about your email. Yeah, I mean, maybe so I don't think this, so look, I think that when I implemented the forgot password, let's actually see how I implemented forgot password. Keep in mind that I might have implemented the forgot password so it doesn't tell you if the email doesn't exist, because that's a security concern, right? I'm not gonna tell you, like, you might enter some email, and if I tell you that that email exists or doesn't exist, that's a security concern. So maybe I'm just saying that it was successful. Let's actually see. I hope that I implemented it that way. Yeah, so you can see that's what I did, right? And you see what it says here. For security reasons, We never want to expose information about our users. Therefore, we don't want to tell the one that requested a new password if the user with that email exists or not. So no matter which email you enter, even if it's an inaccurate one, you're still gonna get that message. Because I'm not gonna tell you that, hey, that email doesn't exist, because somebody could come to that form and just spam maliciously and see who is signed up or not, right? So you might have used a different email. Let me oh yeah, so I can see that this is your profile. That's what I see. jcraft, yeah, that's your profile. And give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna actually I just don't want to expose any private information, so I'm just working on a different screen because it's emails involved and stuff. Oh my god, Jace is here. Jace, I haven't seen you in ages. Where have you been? Yeah, Jace is here after a long time. Okay, so I can see that you signed up with a Gmail. The first 2 characters is DJ. So yeah, so that seems to be the email, yes. So maybe check your spam. Maybe check your spam or whatever. I can see that you confirmed your email before. So yeah, your account is definitely good. Check your Gmail spam. I hope that the email didn't go to spam. Jace, very nice. Are you full stack? Yes, of course I am. Yes. Yes. So this seems to be working, I think, at least. So let's try to. I really want to solve it for you because that's a great use case. If it's not working, then we need to know why, right? Let me actually, I guess Jay's got a life, exactly. Let me just go to production now again. Give me 2 seconds. Is this jumping? No, it's not. Oh, the old email. Ah, okay, so you have 2 emails. I can tell you. Give me a second. Let me tell you your old email. One moment. Let me just open up a dashboard here on the other screen so I don't share. I don't understand in what Cloudflare pages. Our front end is the whole front end is hosted. The whole React front end is hosted in there. So when you go to Programmer Network, that's what's hosted there. So the other email that you used, jcraft, ends with recruiters.com. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but it's something at north and then blah 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 recruiters.com. That's your email. My pleasure. Okay, let me read some questions. I have a question. I started to learn coding. I think I in HTML and CSS and now going a certificate engineer. Do you think it's enough to start you? Hello, great stuff. Jonas955, thank you very much, buddy. I'm happy you like it. Do you think it's enough to start junior front-end dev career? I mean, it is enough, right? I mean, the thing is, the biggest irony with the question about job market is you will know when it's it's enough when you get a job. You get what I mean? So it's kind of a little bit funny and maybe even a little bit rude to say that, right? But how will you know that you're ready? You will know it when you get yourself in a position to get a job, right? And that's also kind of fair enough a little bit, because you can always have that to work towards, right? So you can learn a bit, build some projects, meet people, go to meetups, you know, meet people who are in the same shoes as you. For example, one thing that I can see is that a lot of you guys who are also a lot younger, you're very antisocial almost. You're very it's kind of sad almost. Like there's a bunch of you here who are the same age, who are in the same boots, who are in the same shoes, but you're not building anything together, right? I mean, you could add each other to Discords and have calls and build products together, review each other's code, right? I don't get it genuinely. I mean, there's so many of you who are, you know, either finished university or trying to become programmers, right? But you're not interfacing with people at all. You're just going to YouTube, you're just watching random videos, right? But there's so many of you, and you could really, like, that's why I'm building this platform. But you're completely no sense of that social aspect of life, right? It's kind of crazy. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's awkward. Maybe you can say, well, what should I do, right? What is Activity Pub? And thank you very much, everybody. What is Activity Pub? Fastify's protocol. I think I actually heard this. I have a friend who is a fanatic of decentralized internet stuff. Don't. Thank you everybody for your follows. Spam TV. Yeah. You could connect programming network to Mastodon with Activity Pub. I mean, why not? I mean, you see, this is great. I mean, some people are, you know, smarter than myself in so many ways. That's why I love this stream. Yeah, I think that would be great. I mean, why not, right? I've actually checked that platform, Mastodon. I never can memorize the name, and it looks really good, and I respect that. That this is what I want to get at with Programming Network as well. Okay, let's create this task. I'll need to read about this, right? I need to internalize this. So wait, let me say connect Activity Pub with Mastodon. Is that how you spell it? Yes. Okay. I'll need to read about this. I need to research a little bit what it takes, how many streams do we need to do this, and yeah, man, that would be crazy. Why not, right? So let's do this. And what is it? Mastodon? Yep. Let's take a look. Very nice. And we should probably do the vice versa. If this platform ever lives to see any light of the day, we should probably do the same, right? Reveal the arcane secrets of your code conjuring. So I think Ayla, so I'm a validation and security freak, right? So I think I have restricted the platform so much so people can't put all sorts of stuff. So for example, you can see that when you're writing a poem, and maybe we should loosen up on that, but for example, there are only specific characters that I allow. Let's say if I try to have a title, right? and I use some strange characters, right? Let's say something like this, right? You're gonna get, it seems that I'm actually supporting those, but if I try to use a slash, right? Let's see. Let's actually, it's a little bit weird now with we've changed a lot of stuff, so let's make sure that but what, are you getting an error or something? Shit. Let's see. Yeah, that's not correct. Yeah, there's something off, I think. Let's see. Yes, actually we didn't. Let me try that locally. I'm studying experimental biology and started like 8 months ago because I think I can see myself. I wouldn't call myself. I can't see any opportunities nowhere to connect with people. Black hole that post. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that post was but let's see what's happening, because again I've just changed a lot of stuff, right? So we might have fucked something up, right? So let's see. Yeah, so there's something off with this now, because I can see that, yeah, some of these characters are actually not allowed, right? So, oh, okay, so no, those that I tried were actually allowed. So yeah, you can see the string contains characters that are not blah blah. Yeah, I'm just trying to read stuff. Wait. I'm just ensuring manual testing, right? Yeah, but this is we do support those types of characters in here, right? Because this is not a tip tap, right? So I think that's fine. Yeah, we do support it there. Wait, I don't know why, but once I filled out the name and the country, it allowed me to go type without this showing up. I'm just trying to understand what the problem was. Can you add emoji as an interest tag? Yes, I can. Also Superbase and Postgres, and yeah, actually that's a good point as well. I think we need to extend these tags. We need to build a real tag system, right? It's just add additional tags. It's just we're gonna do that when or if ever there's sufficient amount of people using the platform. I just didn't want to build a whole graph of tags and stuff, because that's not you know, a primitive task, right? It's fairly complicated, right? Okay, cool. All right, cool, great. So, but I like this idea. I need to read about, maybe watch some YouTube video about this, some 10 seconds video where, does anybody have like 3 seconds video where it could teach me how to do this in 2 seconds? I basically need around 4 seconds video that can just teach me through all of this, right? Activity and Mastodon, yeah. And if somebody can also do it for me, please. Just if it's longer than 4 seconds, don't share, please, because can't focus that long. 5 seconds, man. What the hell? Are you for real? Like, too much. Okay, great, good, beautiful. Let's just do one thing together, because I would like to see, because we did some updates. Okay, great. Wow. We did some updates recently. So let's take a look at our performance. Yeah, so it degraded, so our Google performance degraded slightly a bit, because I think I introduced a regression recently with when we refactored a lot of stuff. I moved this stuff to those open source libraries, right? If you don't know, right, you can check them out here, but you know, I've open sourced the UI component library that I wrote for Programmer Network. It's this Yale. Then we wrote this useAGV form, which is a super good validation library for React. This is what Programmer Network is using. So I open sourced this recently, so give it a shot. And also, yeah, here's the Yale. Yale is probably less interesting because it's just a component library, right? You can also check it on Yale at Programmer Network. So this is, but if you're using Fastify, especially, and you would like some isomorphic validation, basically sharing the validation between your backend and frontend, this is basically what I built, and I think it's awesome, and I really love it. Actually, last night I introduced a new method here because I needed it. So if you need awesome validation with AJV, and if you don't know what an AJV is, it's another JSON validation schema, another JSON validator, and this is written in C++, and it's actually used by Fastify. So when I started building Programmer Network, I use Fastify, obviously. And Fastify, for those of you who don't know, in Fastify, right, you validate. Actually, for those of you who might not know, in Fastify you validate basically all of your URL parameters, query parameters, response, body, and all of the other schemas. You validate them using a JSON schema, AJV, right? So if you actually take a look at that, let's just in this workspace. So if I go, for instance, to let's say a user router, right? This is basically how a route in Fastify looks like. You have the actual endpoint, this fragment of an endpoint, and then you can see as the second argument here to the actual, in this case, Fastify.post, you provide the schema, right? You say, hey, the body has an email, first name and last name, all of them are required, and then you have a reference to your actual controller, right? And then you do whatever, your ORM, or you write some queries or hit some services. But the point is now that for Programmer Network, I'm reusing the schemas for both front end and back end. So when I'm validating these forms in the front end, I'm using the same schemas that my API is using, right? So these. And then I eventually built this library, because now this library can utilize these schemas. You can see now when you want to validate your form, you're saying, hey, it's very simple. You create a form object, you give it your state. This would be your state, like use state or whatever. You give it a, let's say, title, and then you say that this title has to be a string and has a minimum length of 5, right? And then how do you use it? You just pass a value. This is just arbitrary example. Imagine you have an input. You say the value is form.state.title.value, and then you use onBlue or whatever. And then of course each corresponding value has an error. Then I wrote here how you could use this potentially. This library that I wrote doesn't export any higher order component, but I just wrote an example here in case you wanted to use it, blah, blah, blah. Flint, thank you very much, man, for saying something and being active. I really wish that more people would be involved as a community into discussing things, suggesting, but maybe in time they will. But thank you, man, and I appreciate you being here. I hope to see you again. Somebody asked something again. Do you return server errors for the form? How do you return server errors? Well, I mean, the form is going to submit. How do you return errors for the form? I return them in the shape that the form expects. I have this little utility called AJV validation error. So I have this little utility that I wrote, this little function, and I have a type of error called AJV validation error. And this is basically what so whenever I throw this type of error, my use AJV form, this library that I wrote, it knows how to consume this and show it beneath a specific field. And you can see I programmatically and manually obviously throw it. So for example, you can see here that when you try to log in to Programmer Network, right, if you try now and you type incorrect email or password, this is basically the error that I'm going to return to the UI. And then my use AJV form knows how to consume this to actually display this. So actually, if we go to production, right, if I log out, right, and I log in and I say, this, but I mistyped the password, incorrect email or password, right? If you take a look at the response of this thing, right, sign in. Where is the network? If we go to fetch_xhr, you can see what am I returning? I'm returning what I just showed you. It has a type AJV validation error, and then it has this errors array. It has the instance path. This instance path is a partial type of a type that AJV exports called error object, and that error object type has like 8 or 9 properties. It has a keyword, instance path, message, schema path, schema. So basically my API is not like generating the whole object. It's just generating the instance path and message. Why instance path? Because it needs to know under which input to show the error. And this email here has an instance path of email /email. That would be right So, and it works really well. I built this for Programming Network, and then I open sourced it after, you know. And Antonio, my friend, good evening. So it's an interesting library. So especially, again, it's interesting if you're using Fastify, because now you can almost seamlessly write. Yeah. What's on agenda for today's stream? Honestly, nothing. I mean, to be very frank with you, I don't have the time to sometimes plan it, right? I put my kid to sleep. I spend some time with my wife. Positive to you as well, Antonio. So sometimes I just show up and I press stream and we just fix things or build things, right? So it's not always, actually, to be very frank with you, for the most part, it's completely unorganized in that sense, right? Because it's hard to predict sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes my son falls asleep in time. Sometimes he falls asleep 2 hours later. How is the job market? I think, man, the job market is always good in this industry. I think a huge problem that a lot of people have is that they're somehow aiming or seeking for some sort of hipster companies, cool companies, this and that, right? I mean, there's a bunch of companies out there hiring, man. The problem is that a lot of people have been brainwashed in this industry that they have to work for, I mean, big salary. I mean, you can only have big salary if you provide big knowledge, right? If you have big experience and if you're valuable in a big way, then you're gonna get big salary. If you're not, then you're not gonna get it. That's how it is, right? I mean, you are a product. Nobody's gonna overpay you because you're a developer, right? So so salary goes with experience, with your commitment, with your engagement, with your proactivity, with your autonomy, and so many things, right? You cannot expect to have a big salary and then sitting with somebody that spoon feed you the whole day, right? So I mean, everything's relative. If you have the skills, you're gonna have the big salary. If you don't have the skills, right? No, I haven't seen Blackberry movie. No. But I'm sure that there are millions of companies out there seeking for employees. It's just that, again, people have been sold some sort of story about this industry, how this industry is like somehow special. Not everybody can work for cool companies like world-changing cancer treatment, going to Mars type of companies. Most of the people have to work, have a job and build products and put bread on their table, right? I mean, look, but you can always find exceptions, Antonio, right? I mean, I trust you in that, right? You can always find exceptions, but those are not rules. Those are exceptions, right? Are there some people out there who manage to oversell themselves and stuff? Of course. I mean, that's how it is. But this is an absolute minority, right? I have another question. Do you make your API only return? Not really, OB. Depend what type of error it is. Not every error is a 400 validation error, right? But where, Antonio? Salary where, right? Pozdrav is, yeah, it's Serbian, Croatian, Bosnian. There's 700 languages in the Balkans. Depending where you live, Antonio. If you live in Croatia, it's going to be a lot lower than if you live in Copenhagen, right? In Denmark, right? So it depends where you are. It doesn't work like that, right? Ayla, yeah, syncing does work. I'm sure that it does. It's just depending what are your... it just depends. So if I go here to repositories, resync, let's see. Hopefully it should be working. Yeah, I think it does, yeah. Thank you very much, man. A lot of you guys have signed up today. That's pretty cool. I mean, you guys motivate me to keep coming back and building this. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. I mean, Antonio, again, like, I know you now for long enough, right? You've been in this stream for almost a year or half a year at least, right? And you are also mentality like me. We come from the same area, right? You know that there's just don't deceive yourself with these types of things, my referrals, this and that. In order to get a good job and highly paid job, you need to be worth that money. And I'm not, by no means, I'm not suggesting that you're not, right? I'm just suggesting that you cannot expect to have a salary, let's say like me. I've been working in this industry for 15 years, right? Or you, and I cannot expect to have a salary like somebody who's been working for 30 years, right? Yeah, sure. I mean, that's great, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's super, super useful, right? 100%, that's super useful, but that won't guarantee you anything, right? Okay, let's take a look at the error. So that's gonna help you dramatically, right? But it's not gonna just give you the job. That's the point, right? Because references as well are exactly, but for sure, man, if you have references, absolutely. Okay, wait a minute. So something went wrong. Ouch, something exploded. Refreshing page. We're sorry, something went wrong. We couldn't sync your repositories. Please try again. I don't actually see any error. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. Let me see. Interesting. Not really, Antonio. No, I mean, honestly, all of my friends that I have here, they work in the office, right? I don't really. I'm a person who doesn't want to work remotely. Honestly, I hope I never do, because I like to go to work. I think it's healthy to sit on a bike. I think it's healthy to see people, to talk to people, to socialize, to have a beer after work. So that's just my personal preference. By no means I'm suggesting it should be yours. So I don't actually know anybody literally in my life who works remotely. Yeah, for sure. In the Balkans, yes. In Serbia, in Croatia, in Macedonia, in Greece, for sure. Ayla, did you, like, when you clicked the button, did it take you to GitHub? Like when you clicked on the sync button, did it take you to GitHub? Yeah, actually Leo works remote, that's true. It did take me to the auth, okay, and you did authorize, right? You did allow and click all of this stuff, right? Because it's a weird thing, right? I don't see an error, so I don't see. And I did get that the auth. Okay, interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. The scary thing is, okay, let's take a look at that. I mean, it's just the scary thing is, let's take a look at that logic. I wrote that long ago. So if we go to auth, where did I write that? Yeah, here it is. That's great. Let's just review that. Yeah, I mean, I haven't touched this, as you can see, in like 8 months or something. So nothing should have changed. Let me actually go to GitHub. Okay, yeah, that's, I mean, it's good in a way that you're getting an error, because what's not good is that I don't see the errors in the logs, right? So if I go to my organization here and we go to settings, then we go scroll down to developer settings here, right? And we go to OAuth apps, and we go to programmer network, which is the production one that you tried. So we have, so you see we have 660 users in programmer network who signed in with GitHub. Synchronize public repositories. I think this is the one. 42 of you guys have done that. Good. I mean, I'm genuinely now interested, like, why doesn't it work for you? And I'm not seeing any logs in the API, so it's not telling me that you had an error. Oh, wait, no. Wait a minute, so this is some error. Last 5 minutes. Programmer network dashboard cannot read properties of null reading type. wonder if it has to do anything with that. Let's take a look. Source, views, dashboard. Let's find a folder here. Let's search for type. Type. No, I clicked on the wrong thing. Wait. So views. Oh, sorry, I went to developers instead. Okay, I see. So wait, dot type. Is there something? Oh. Okay, but this is something related to, so I would expect something here to break. That's fine. I'm sure it's not this. AJ validationer is not the main owner. No. So what error did you get? You got some error. What was the... Wait, let's go to... Let me just close all of this stuff. There's so many. Anonymous gifter. Thank you very much, anonymous gifter. That's very kind, man. Thank you. Repositories. Okay, so let's see. Why? Yeah, okay. Let's try to... Thank you so much, everybody, for reporting this, because I built so much stuff over this entire time, and... it's obviously people not using it enough to break enough, right? So let's see, resync has GitHub slug is profile. Wait a minute, so where is the sync? Handle sync? Yeah, so this is the handle sync. So this is gonna take you to, you haven't synced here, you click this, right? Has GitHub slug. Let's take a look at the actual callback URL here. So if we go synchronize public repositories, let's see what are we calling back. We're calling back sync public repository. So let's do a whole end-to-end debugging session here, right? Okay. So when you clicked on that button, it took you to the GitHub. GitHub then called us back. It called sync public repositories, and then I have a callback here that I'm handling, right? So GitHub called us back, and then I redirected to our UI with the access token and this. So let's search now for this in our UI. Actually no, that makes no sense. Wait a minute. Yeah, so I redirected you there. And most likely your error occurred somewhere inside here, right? So if I get here, I most likely have, yes, exactly. So I most likely have this. If there's no parameters access token, I would redirect you elsewhere. If there is an access token, I would call my API back. Right? Let's see what you're saying. That's because... Sorry, something went wrong. We couldn't sync your repositories, which are again. Then I click get back to the home page and get the rest of the URL when I click it. Oh, we got rated. Thank you very much, whoever rated us. I'm very bad at Twitch. I pretty much suck, but I did learn this shout out command, right? Shout out somebody. Yes, there we go. I think I did it well. Yeah, I did. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a great time. Okay, so this is where you got sync error. So Ayla, this is where you got, right? You got to the sync error. So basically, we try to do this. So this might have failed in the API, sync public repositories, right? So most likely, this is where we failed. Is user authenticated and profile complete? Yes. You too. Thank you very much, Anutka. And everybody should head off and give a follow there as well. I don't think I've ever rated anyone, or actually I think I did. I need to learn how to do that, do it myself. User model find one. Okay, so you already synced your repositories in the past 24 hours, so you didn't get this error. So then we get the access token here. We call the GitHub API. GitHub API is going to return us some data, right? Then I do the bulk create. I basically run this and I create your repositories. We store them in a database. Then I set this timestamp to +1 day, so you can't sync your repositories for another day, because we have a limit with GitHub API. So here, basically, once we reach this point, pronounce my name, so funny, I like it. Anutka, Anutka. Repository sync. So basically, most likely we have failed somewhere around here. And actually, this is very good. Bear with me, Ayla. We can actually fix this. The biggest irony of it, though, is that I am using this decorator, right? If I go to setup decorators, right? I think I have send error in here. So this should have logged that something on your end has failed, right? But it actually didn't. Ooh, okay, shit. Is our API farting out or something? Yeah, maybe the API is farting out. Yeah, let's restart it. Shit. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. Give me a moment. Did we change something in here? No, we just formatted the code out. Okay, so let's go to the API, right? And let's go to the API. Let's go to our continuous integration server, right? And let's just redeploy this, right? So we're going to redeploy, so we restart the server. It seems that the server actually farted out. Let's see the resources. Maybe there's something wrong. So if we go to our Grafana and Prometheus here, right? Let's check the resources. So resources seem fine. Let's take a look at our nodejs application, right? Is something happening here that might have caused that? Is there any memory leaks or any CPU throttling or whatever? 900. It's not a controller code. No, it's the router most likely. Or are you referring to this one? This one? Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, those are controller functions, right? Which are then linked to the router. Yeah, for sure. Yes. This is just the user controller, right? Which has all the corresponding functions or methods, whatever you want to call it, right? And then they're bound to the router. Sent what I got. Where did you send it? Yeah, so let's actually see, yeah. We need to redeploy this. Something is farting out, right? So let's just rerun. Let's just redeploy this. We need to redeploy this. Something has, and I really wish I can narrow this down maybe after stream. But I really wish that I can. Maybe I should. Yeah, maybe next stream we can do some DDoSing and we can do some stress testing, right? We can use the autocannon or whatever just to. So we'll see about that. I need to set up some strategy around it. But yeah, I can see that. The thing is, you can see when I look at my Grafana and Prometheus, I don't actually see that there's any constraints of resources. Node.js is you can see the active handlers are like minimum, almost none right now. So there's no traffic. So I don't see the host server is really like, I mean, 6% CPU is used. So it's probably, shit. It could be Candy, but you know what I think is actually the problem now when I think about it? Shit, that's a good point. So the problem is that a Sequelize, I'm using Sequelize ORM with Postgres. If you don't handle the transaction properly, you can get into trouble. I wonder though now here that maybe we haven't handled some transaction. Fuck my life, that's it. Yeah. First of all, I think that's it, yeah. So we prematurely created this transaction. This transaction really shouldn't be happening here at all. This transaction should really start somewhere here. And I don't know what's up with the formatter here. So it's transaction Lex, thank you so much, man. please pass by whenever you have the time. Leo, what is to say, man? I love you, dude. Thank you for being here almost every time I'm streaming. I appreciate that, man, very much, yes. So we found the bug, and Ayla, thank you very much for that. So we can clearly see here that, okay, I mean, it's quite clear what's happening. So first, we didn't really need a transaction for find one. That's number one. But that's not the issue. The issue is that we're, I think, also not passing the transaction to the bulk create, right? And I actually don't remember how this bulk create works. So let's go to SQLize documentation and let's search for bulk create. I have no idea how this is bulk creates. Transaction, like, let's see, what does it actually say? And we should probably also update SQLize, but that's a different thing. So where do I actually pass the options to it? Yeah, because we obviously don't have, we're not using TypeScript, unfortunately, here. So do they have any types that we can take a look at? Let's ask the robot. Let's ask Jean-Claude Bundy. We actually haven't used ChatGPT at all, so let's maybe use the robot. So let's say, does SQLize how do I pass a transaction object to SQLize bulk create? Which argument is it? Let's take a look. Yeah, so it's the second argument. Okay, good. So this is for sure what we're missing. So we're mapping this data. So basically this is syncing your repositories. So at this point, I got the data from GitHub. This is also a pretty shitty name, right? We can just call this repositories, right, as well. That's probably a better name. And then here we can, you know, we can then actually, we should probably even take this out and say here const aggregated repos or whatever. I don't know what's up with VS Code, it's lagging slightly a bit. And then we can pass this thing here, and then we can say transaction, right? Let's actually go to user settings. I'm not, what the hell is happening? Format, save. Super weird. Super weird. No, but yeah, but I shouldn't, right? It's not that, it's more that I shouldn't be pressing key binding, it should be doing it automatically. So there's something wrong with the workspace, but doesn't really matter. So, okay, so now we give it aggregated repos or whatever, we just, or normalized, whatever we want to call it. It's actually quite a shitty name. Okay, good. Then we're finally passing the transaction. Then we're passing the transaction here, and then yeah, we can't roll back here because we moved the transaction basically. Okay, no problem. So we'll just need to do that here. So we're gonna create a transaction in here. We will then actually pass it to, I don't actually know if I have to pass it here, but I guess I do. And then I can destroy this, right? So the only place where we actually missed the transaction was in here, right? And this most likely has failed. My assumption right now with Ayla, what she faces, maybe that at this point in here, maybe some of these things were undefined and maybe we failed. So what we could potentially do here, right, is we can maybe just smack in, let's maybe smack in a conditional operator, right? So what we could do, we can just, we can smack in a conditional operator because we don't know what the bug is, right? But what we can assume is that maybe when I built this, I assumed that every single repo that I fetch from GitHub is gonna have all of these things. But what if maybe it doesn't, right? Technically, it would still evaluate to undefined, so I don't think that it would break, but either way, right? And then here we have user ID, request user ID, so that's correct. So we have that transaction there, then I set this expiry date, I'm still passing the transaction, I commit the transaction, I do this. So for some reason, yeah, we never got to this point, and that worries me a little bit, right? Because this thing should technically be this thing should really have I should have seen some error in my Grafana, right? But we never saw any logs, right? So that's a little bit concerning. Oh, okay, yeah, but this is the timeouts. Now we're seeing the timeouts, right? Have you tried Google Bar? I've tried it, yeah. I mean, the company where I work, we are GCP partner here in Copenhagen. We're the partner of, so we also had early access to that, and it's nowhere good to ChatGPT. It's still lacking a lot behind. So you can see basically SQLized connection acquired timeout. So most likely this was the issue was this, but we'll see. Okay. So we are whatsoever in a try catch. So now we have a transaction here. If you try to sync before the time expires, we give you an error. Then we interface with GitHub. We give it an access token as basically almost like a bearer token, something that it can identify us with. Then we've added the transaction here. We're just filtering out the repositories which you forked, so we don't show your forked repositories. Do we have to do this? Not really, right? Ayla in 2 seconds. Let me just push this. Let me deploy this, and we can try again. But we have for sure missed this transaction here. There's no question about that, right? Let me just give this to ChatGPT just to review it. So please review this code and ensure that all the transactions are handled accordingly. Misspelled that word. I mean, byte lordy. I mean, honestly, I don't care if it's free, right? That's not a selling point for me, right? $20 to me means nothing a month, right? If ChatGPT was $100 a month, I would still pay for it, right? If it was $200 a month, I would still pay for it. So the free argument, it's meaningless to me, because $20 is something you make as a developer in what, a few minutes, right? And the value that it gives you is it's ridiculous, right? Oh, the user update query is not correctly included in the transaction. You need to pass the transaction update inside an options object. Okay, so you see we also have an error in here. Wow, Jesus Christ, that's not good. I mean, it's fine, right? It's just you see, you have to. Yeah, I actually what is this thing? Okay. Are you sure? Wait a minute. I mean, I'm not trusting it. I don't think this is the case. Wait. I don't trust it. Wait a minute. So where? Oh yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah. It is actually correct. It is correct. This is kind of one of the downsides of not having TypeScript. Not all of it is a downside, but this is one downside. Okay, so that's pretty much correct transaction into college. Okay, so this technically now should be a slight improvement. And even ChatGPT said that how amazing my code was. Right. Okay. So we added this conditional operator here. I hate smacking this. So the biggest issue with the conditional operator, right? The biggest issue with the conditional operator is and why it kind of sucks, right? Let's actually just discuss that for 2 seconds. Be wary, right? I've seen, since ECMAScript 7, I think, came out, since we got a conditional operator, right? A lot of people are just smacking it all over the place, and it's not a smart thing to do, because you might think it's smart because you're like, well, whatever, right? I mean, if it's undefined, it's not gonna explode. But the biggest downside of that is that nobody can trust your contract. Now a person who is reading the code doesn't actually understand if, in this case, R, which one of these is actually returned and which isn't. So that's why, I mean, this is really shitty. I mean, I just want to do this. You know what, actually, I don't even know if, actually, you know what, I don't want to do this, no. I don't want to do this because I would much rather want this to fail so I know where the error is than just safeguard myself against lack of knowledge into is it possible that GitHub API might actually not return any of those, or they're gonna be empty strings? I would probably think the latter. So let's not do this. It's a shitty way to silence the errors, right? So if this is gonna explode, let's have it explode, right? And then if it explodes, we'll fix it, but we'll know what the issue is, right? All right, so fix sync GitHub repositories. I don't care, actually. Let's just push it. Why did you decide not to use TypeScript? Well, I mean, I'm using TypeScript for all the libraries that I've wrote for this thing. What the fuck is this? What is this complaining about? What is this? Wait. I decided not to use TypeScript because this whole product is built in a stream, and I don't need additional burden on me to deal with while, you know, inventing things on the spot. This product doesn't have a product manager, a designer, a front ender, a back ender, right? And TypeScript at this stage of the product is for the most part useless, right? There are certain exceptions like the one that you just saw where you could say, yeah, types could have helped, 100% agree, but the overall value of TypeScript at this stage of the product would actually be, it would not be a value, it would be a liability, right? Okay, never mind, it's all good, it's all good. So let's go back to our CI, so they should deploy now, and then we can try again, and hopefully we will then see some logs, right? Let's just, we're gonna just look at the errors past 5 minutes or whatever. In simple words, going back to the TypeScript question, sometimes you have to move fast, right? Or sometimes you don't have the time, as I don't, because this is a side thing that I do just in the stream. And the little time that I have, I want to make sure that I can push things out. Is it higher chance that things are going to break without the type system? Probably. But you have to evaluate the time overall that you spend. How long does it take me to fix that? What is the consequence of that versus being able to write a dynamic language that just freely allows you to do that. So you're gonna probably make more mistakes, sure, but then you have to account for the time that you save and etc, right? Even though we're actually very rarely making these mistakes anyway, with or without types, right? Okay, so let's deploy this fella. Programmer network thoughts. Okay, so the API is back, so the production is working, and then Ayla can try again. And then otherwise, worst case, I'll just test offline, off stream, and fix it. So Ayla, if you're still around, let's give it a minute just to deploy, and then we take a look at it. Then we see what's happening. Awesome, thank you so much for that. Let's see. Just waiting to deploy to Hetzner to my infrastructure. No, it's the same channel. So if you go to live, right? So if you go to my YouTube channel and if you go to live, this is where the WODs are basically. So unfortunately I'm very sorry if it's a little bit confusing, because at one point I didn't stream to YouTube, then I would manually upload them. But this is very long ago. But now you can see I'm live in there. I don't even know if anybody is actually watching there right now. Live viewers, no, it's just 2 people. But yeah, you can see that, yeah, so when I stop, it's gonna basically end up here. Glad I'm not the only one waiting. That's what it is. That's what it is with, okay, so it should be deployed now. Let's Let's see. So Ayla, I think you should be able to try now. So it's deployed now. So if you try again, at least I'm expecting to see an error, at the very least, I hope. So it's still gonna fail for you, I'm sure, but at least I'm expecting hopefully to see an error or something, because, and assuming that the issue was here, because we just maybe we just randomly found that some of these things were not properly implemented, right? It's just the irony of it is that I was actually able to sync my own stuff, right? Well, I actually can't do it again because I can sync it in 23 hours again. But it did in fact work, right? No, I'm using my own infrastructure. I built my own, I'm just renting a bare metal server from Hetzner and I'm hosting everything in Docker. So Redis, Nginx, Postgres, Node, Grafana, Prometheus, and a lot of services. I can actually show you that if you want. It's quite an interesting setup. But no, I'm not. The cost of goods sold, or COGS, would be way too high. This project wouldn't be able to run if I was paying GCP. But we use GCP at Dream Data where I work. We're the biggest partner almost in Denmark. So this is my infrastructure. This is how Programmer Network works. So when you go to programmer.network and you sign up and you click around, this is how it works. So we have a client. The client is the only thing that's not hosted really. I think it's Ubuntu. So we have React. Plain React. I'm not using Next.js or any of this bullshit. It is hosted on Cloudflare Pages. I have internal. I'm using an internal host Hetzner firewall for only allowing traffic from Cloudflare IP ranges. So if we go to those IP ranges, so only traffic from these IP ranges is allowed to my infrastructure. And I'm using Nginx just internally to, I'm using Nginx internally just because of the certbot, because every 3 months I need to automatically renew SSL certificates for each of these services. So basically my Nginx exposes certbot outside of the network certificates, because the certbot, their servers need to hit me as well back to verify the stuff. Then this is my internal basically alerting and logging services. So if I go to Grafana, right? So if I go to Grafana, we're hitting this guy here, right? Which basically has Prometheus, node exporter. What is a node exporter? It's basically a Docker image that presents you with this, with your hostname metrics, how much RAM, CPU, and stuff is used. Then we have Postgres exporter, which gives me insights into how my Postgres is performing, right? Then we have alert manager. I use this Docker image to send. This is like centric.js. Whenever I read here in Grafana query language, I can say, hey, whenever HTTP status of, let's say, 500 happens, send a message to my Slack. So, so I get notified that something in the API failed. Google Cadvisor, I use this to to monitor performance of all the Docker images. And I said, like I said, certbot to generate SSL certificates using Let's Encrypt, right? So this is used as a cron job, right? Then we have Fastify API, which is just Node.js. Basically, it's just a single instance. I'm not clustering it or anything like that. We have Postgres. We have a Postgres database. We're using SQLize ORM, and I have Redis. And Redis is right now only used for the notification system. So I built my own notification system, very simple one, and Redis is the backbone of it. So I do some hash tables in Redis. I basically create hash tables between, let's say, a user ID and a username, and the article ID and the article title, blah, 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 blah. So once, you can very quickly evaluate the notification and send it to the user, because you don't have to then interface with the Postgres necessarily, right? So super nice. Redis is amazing. And then I'm using appsmith.com for internal dashboards. So obviously I'm not gonna spend time building dashboards. Let me just make sure I don't expose any private data. Let me just hide the emails, right? So then I'm using AppSmith, and this AppSmith actually is the only service that has access to my database. That's a little bit scary, but it's not really. So that's why you can see here there are those two IP addresses which actually are allowed internal access to my infrastructure on this port and this, and basically those two IP addresses are the IP addresses of AppSmith service. And that's why you can see those dashboards that I create. I can see how many people today have logged in. As you can see, yesterday 3 people logged in. I can see how many thoughts they made. So this is just a tool, right? If you go to appsmith.com, it's similar to Retool. If you've ever used Retool, this is a free service for building your internal dashboards, because you obviously don't want to spend time building dashboards. That's ridiculous, right? Especially dashboards that customers can't use. So you would use these products basically as right. Actually, I lost the thought. Give me a second. I need to check it. So yeah. Anyway, so going back to this is basically the infrastructure. I mean, yeah. And then I have some scheduler, some time scheduler that I'm building. I haven't deployed that yet. I'm just, yeah. I don't have the time. It's just, yeah. But when I have the time, I'll do it. That's it. That's my infrastructure. No, this service is hosted in the cloud on AppSmith. It's free. So I didn't want to host. I could have, because AppSmith has Docker installation, right? So you can go here, and I mean, I could have. They have this Docker Compose configuration. You can deploy this locally on your machine if you're developing, if you want to play with it, or in your infrastructure. You can deploy this in 2 minutes, right? The reason why I didn't want to do it is because I didn't want to set up some service on my infrastructure for nothing, because they offer a free cloud, right? Retool, exactly. Okay. And let me now check just the logs. So that's kind of how it works. Okay, let me just see if now I got any logs from Ayla. Fuck, man, this is, yeah, wait. I didn't get any logs again. What the hell, man? Tried syncing and got the error again. We're sorry something went wrong. We couldn't sync your repository. Please try again. Let me just copy that error message. Let's find it in the front end, right? Where's my, let me just close this. And thank you. So I'm very sorry. Thank you everybody for your follows and stuff. I was just talking and then I couldn't say that. We couldn't sync you. Ah, okay. We couldn't sync your repositories. Okay, so this is where we got to sync error. Okay. Set sync error. What's the cost of running? Of course, you can ask anything. Cost is so current cost of so right now I think I pay $25 a month for Hetzner, so whole infrastructure. I pay $10 a month for Cloudflare images. I pay $8 or $9 a month, or maybe even $10 a month for Docker Hub. This I could have for free. I could host this on, you know, GitHub for free, so I could save $10 a month. Is there anything else? Let me just think. No, I don't think so. I think this is it. This I could not do. I could find something cheaper if I wanted to. This I could also not do. So basically I could have everything running for $25. And I mean, I don't have many subscribers here in Twitch. I just have maybe 20 or 30, but even that almost pays for this, right? So it's, I mean, I don't care even if it doesn't, right? It's just, yeah, my pleasure, man, my pleasure. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, what concerns me a little bit now is that the only thing that I can think about is that this might be a front-end error, because I wonder. So we for sure get in here. There's no question about that. So this must be failing, right? So this must be failing for sure. Now the question is, the core question is, the only question is, why are we not seeing any logs? If we take a look at our Fastify decorators, if we take a look at this decorator that I wrote, right? Where did I declare this? And somebody asked me about nestjs. No, I would never use tools like that. Not again, please don't misunderstand me. If you're using it, good for you. I'm happy. More power to you. I'm not going to introduce tools whose only function is abstraction even more, right? For me, I like languages like Go. I like actually languages even like Node.js, where simplicity is the core selling point. I want my endpoint to literally be some request comes on some URL, some function executes, you have some service or some client or clients that interface with a database or multiple databases, and that's it. So that's why nest.js and all of this crap I don't care about, right? I don't care about decorators, event emitters, and any of that, because I've been there many years ago, right? I've wrote my own event emitters 15 years ago, right? We used this shit in Angular 1 10 years ago, right? It's just as you progress more and more, you just stop caring about these things, right? I just like simplicity. So for me, this is a perfect, this type of stuff is just amazing. How simple can this be? Find some user. If it isn't there, return 404. If it is there, return the user. Why do I have to break this into 5 different files, right? For what? Patterns. Well, if you use patterns, like what patterns? This is the pattern. This pattern is called simple. And you cannot get simpler than this. This is why Golang is a beautiful language. In Go, you would do pretty much almost the same. You might use, clean architecture or some onion architecture, as whatever you want to call it. But fundamentally, look at this endpoint. How simple can this be, right? Because fundamentally, APIs at the core should be simple, right? Now, encapsulating it in 15 different abstractions for the sake of abstractions is useless, right? What is the point, right? Like, why? The question is always why. Why do I do that? Why do I need it, right? Fuck, man, is this the problem? Give me a second. I mean, because if we reply here, we can't really roll back this transaction, can we? I mean, because this is going to terminate the request response lifecycle. Is this still going to actually run? Is the core question. I think that, that feels completely wrong, doesn't it, right? I think that the what the fuck is happening? Yeah, this doesn't feel right, man. I think that's why we're seeing this, right? I mean, yeah, maybe. Give me a second. Yeah, right? I mean, I don't actually know. It's kind of... Yeah, I'm just gonna do this, right? Rollback, then return. Whatever, right? Rollback, then return, right? Let's push this to production. I don't actually know, but I'm always intrigued. I mean, to some degree, I'm actually happy that this error happened, because it's so fun to try and fix, right? I know that it's something silly, and I actually, I've never seen this before, right? So that is kind of a little bit good and bad, I guess, because it worked on my computer, right? So maybe I should just send you my computer, Ayla, and then you can maybe sync it. I don't actually know. Yeah, we'll see. I don't actually. Worst case, Ayla, if you're still there, I can debug this on my own. I have access to production database, so I can just remove this flag and keep trying until it works, right? So it's not a problem. Let's just try once more, and then if we don't get any log here in our internal tooling, then we'll just give up, and I'll do it myself. Super. Let me just get some water 1 second. Jav, my friend, good evening. How are you? How are you, man? I'm doing well, man. My wife is asleep, my kid is asleep, so I can just nerd out for a couple of more minutes. Not yet, Ayla. It's pushing to. It's about to push to the Docker Hub. Then it's gonna back up my database, then deploy to Hetzner and stuff. I basically implemented this backup database thing just due to nature of our of this whole product being built in a stream, right? So every time I push something new to the API, I always do a backup of the database, right? Because you never know. And I'm using, how did I do that? I'm using, what am I actually using? Do we have some workflows or something? Yeah. Where's the actual backup? Yeah, backup database. Our clone, yeah. So just FYI, if you ever want to build something as I'm doing, or if you're maybe already doing it, so what you can do, right, you can use this R clone, right? And you can use R clone to, for example, as in my case, I do database backups to my Google Drive, right? So what you can do, you can set up this R clone, you generate this kind of one-time password almost. It's almost like a token, right? And then you can set it up as a cron, or either as a cron job. I also have it set up to back up my database 4 times a day, every 6 hours. And then, as you can see, I'm using it to whenever I deploy a new API, I also back up my database. Just, you know, we're doing things very ad hoc and very quick on the stream, and the data is really the only valuable thing that you can really use. As you can see here with our clone, right? You can they have a lot of providers or whatever. I think they call it providers. So as you can see, I'm using Google Drive, right? But you can R clone really to you can see Hetzner storage box. We could have maybe done this as well. Actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea. I might do that. So, but you have Hetzner stuff. You have a lot of it. You have Microsoft OneDrive, so you can see a bunch of stuff. So you could basically build your own version of backing up mechanism for free. You don't need to pay for that, right? All right, so Ayla, I think you can try now potentially. Let's see, is stuff still alive? It is. So maybe give it a shot again, and let's see if I see any logs at all. If I don't see any logs, then I don't know what the hell is it. Then I'll need to debug that myself. Off stream, I know that I'm gonna solve it in like 7 seconds. It's just very different when I don't have to talk out loud. And let me actually go log out. Let me try to log in myself via different accounts. So I'm gonna log in using my LinkedIn. So I'm gonna log in using my different account. Let's see if all of that still works. So it does. And let me trying now. I'm gonna try as well. So let's see. So what I'm actually gonna do, let's debug our stuff in production. So I'm gonna go to sources, and I'm gonna put some breakpoints, right? So I'm gonna put some breakpoints. I'm gonna say, hey, wait a minute. So when this is so we're gonna use. So let's do it like this, right? So let's create so in the debugger in the browser, right? We actually, yeah. Let's create an XHR breakpoint, and let's say, hey, I want you to break when the URL contains this. So whenever we call this crap, I want you to break, right? So let's now sync. Okay, now we broke. So it's basically syncing. your repositories have been synced. Okay. Wow, okay, so they have been synced. Well, so what the hell? So what the hell is happening with you, Ayla? It just works on my computer, right? Which browser are you using? Can I like sign up with Twitch? Have I ever tried that? Netscape. Shit, man, I was alive when we used Netscape. That's kind of sad. Edge dev. Errors. Server responded with a status of 400. Node cannot be found at the current page. I don't genuinely know what the hell is the problem. Can any of you, any of you who are watching now, is anyone signed up on Programmer Network? Can any of you actually try and just go to your profile, go to your repositories and try to click the sync? Would any of you have the time, please? I would appreciate it very much. Just to see if Ayla is the only one. Ayla, can you try Chrome? Just for fun. Chrome or Safari, or sorry, not Safari, Chrome or Firefox. Even though Edge is based on Chromium, right? So I don't think that's the problem. Yeah, please, Obi, I just want to know, because I don't see any errors in the API. It's ridiculous, right? I mean, it just... Oh my God, Kirill is here. My friend, good evening. I thought you forgot about me, man. Oh, Kirill actually used to be a contributor here, but then he got bored. He wanted to build his own things, which I respect. He's a brilliant mind. Good to see you, man. Seriously, good to see you. Thank you for coming by. Did you get a job yet, man? Did you start working? How is it going? Yeah, so it worked for everybody except her, so what the hell? It's so strange, man. I mean, I'm now even more intrigued what the problem is, right? Because it's like, shit, man. Ayla, can you send me your GitHub profile? Can you put it in chat just so I can see? I just basically wanna know like what the hell is happening, because I'm even more interested now. Is there an edge case? Did we find an edge case, right? Ayla, can you just send your GitHub profile if you don't mind, of course, just so I can see your repositories, like what the hell is happening. Did you verify your email on GitHub? Is your email verified on GitHub? Because now when I think about it a little bit, I know that there's an exception that I've never managed to hit, but there is an exception in the API that I do not allow. But I don't think that this even applies to syncing repositories. I think this just applies to logging in. But I know that in the API, due to security reasons, I'm not allowing GitHub accounts which don't have a valid email or validated email. But I don't think that's the case in this case, no. That's amazing, Spectrum, man. That's amazing, Kirill. Come by sometimes, man, when you have time. It's always good to see you, dude. I really wish that it was kind of sad losing you, because you're an amazing guy, man. Okay, I see. All right. Right now, I don't know. I really wish I had your account so I can test out the thing, because I can see, you know, I see no errors at all. Nothing here is actually exploding, because if it was exploding as an exception, right, we would catch it in here, right, and then send the error to our rights. But we're not doing that, so nothing that I can see here is actually exploding. In GitHub repositories, yeah. No, I mean, I think I'll just leave it for now. I'll leave it for now. Okay, so as we always do, before I'm off, let's maybe chat a bit. Let's see if you guys have any questions that I can answer. Anybody that needs help and advice or whatever, because it's midnight here, and I'll just go full camera here, and I'm gonna go this. So fellas, let's slowly round it up, but let's give it a minute or two to see if anybody has anything that I can help with, or just share my perspective on it. You know how they say opinions are like assholes, everybody has one. So everything good with work and family? Yeah, man, it's standard, Kirill. Kid is growing, he's almost 5. My wife is good, standard stuff. Yeah, pretty much, you know, standard stuff, not much is new. How do you decide when to log something, when not to log? I mean, all the exceptions you want to log, right? I mean, right? So error handling is in a way very... Error handling is... strategy for error handling is very simple, right? So when you build a product, you know nothing of the problems or the errors that your product is going to output. So you log everything, right? Then after some time, as those errors occur more, you handle them, and then you no longer log them because it's handled exception. So you somewhere in your code, you're going to say, if error is this, then return this. And then you no longer have to log it because you know that you are literally handling that exception. But everything that you're not handling, so things that happen without your knowledge, you don't know what the hell it is, you have to log, because logging, it will help you to, so you have to combine the logging and your other internal tools to actually solve these errors, and then say, hey, well, we should, so let's imagine that you're using centric.js. Centric.js is a good example of what I'm talking about. When you're using Sentry, in Sentry you get an error, you go to that error page, and then on the top it has archive or ignore. So generally when you ignore an error, you ignore it when you know about it already. So hey, this is an error that we know about, it's a handled error, so we either shouldn't log it in our tooling, or if we continue logging it, at least make it not appear in your Slack or whatever tooling you're using, right? But you should always log exceptions, like things that you didn't handle manually yourself, right? Because you want to know that they're errors, right? That's gold. That's so valuable that you know, hey, actually there's nothing worse than swallowing errors, meaning, you know, hiding errors. That's tragic for the product, right? So so that is the general strategy you want to take. Error handling is not something we should make super sophisticated, right? It's really just some errors are happening, some errors I know about, and some errors I don't know about. And I care very much about those that I don't know about because I need to handle them. So I either need to gracefully restart my server, or I need to whatever, right? Well, I think Nick, that's because of how logging is abstracted in my code. So I think maybe you have an impression that you're logging more, but I don't think you're logging more at all. Because the thing is, I'm using Fastify, right? I can actually show you. So I'm using Fastify, right? And I'm using decorators, right? So this thing here doesn't just return the error. It's a decorator that logs the error, right? So if I search for send error, this is gonna log this to my Prometheus and Grafana, and then it's gonna respond with the error. It's just I'm not, every single time I get an error, I also log that error, right? So that is the difference. Now, if I discover in a certain stack trace that some error is of some type that I should handle manually, then I will go to this place here, for example, let's imagine here, and I would say if error dot, let's say, imagine it has some type, my custom error, then here I wouldn't call the send error that has a logger. I would say return. Yeah, I would do something like this or whatever. Actually, if I show you the errors, like AJV validation error is a great example of that, right? So here, for instance, right, there are certain places where I know. So you can see here, if there's no user or if the user provider is not local, then respond with this error to the UI, right? So it really depends what it is, but generally, when you have a catch like this, you don't know what the hell this might be. This transaction might fail, this update for some reason might fail, and this is why in my experience and opinion, exceptions handling sucks. Error handling in JavaScript is terrible, because exceptions as a pattern, in my opinion, is just terrible overall, right? Go is a great example of handling errors. In Go, every function you call either returns something or it returns an error. That's why you have if not nil all over the place. It's almost like a meme in a Go community. Is it verbose and annoying? Yes. Is it worth the annoyances and verbosity? Yes. Because whenever you think about the function, you think about the error. I mean, you could technically write the JavaScript that way, but it's not idiomatic JavaScript. It would be writing JavaScript the way that you write. No, but I could have turned each one of these little blocks into a function, and then if that function throws or whatever, I then handle the error there. Right? So it's more about the way that exception handling works in JavaScript, that you just wrap everything in some catch, and then something might go wrong, right? Now at this point here, you would need to do like, if error is arbitrary code is, X, then, return Y, blah, blah, blah. You get the point, right? It's just, and anyway, when it comes to logging, of course, my logging is done in the decorator, right? So it's done really here, right? So that's why you're not seeing the logs all over the place, because you shouldn't. The logs are done when I send the error. I also send that error to the logging, to my infrastructure, right? Yeah. All right. You mean in programmer network, in the platform? I just need a little bit more context. Which UI team are you referring to? My VS Code team, or... I just wrote my own component, right? Wrote my own... I think it's called UI team builder or something like that. And I'm using CSS custom properties. Let's find it. Team builder. Yeah, so it's fairly a simple component, basically. So yeah, this is the whole thing, and I'm operating on 3 custom CSS properties which cascade, right? CSS custom properties, they cascade, right? So if you inspect the root of the document, right? So these are my custom CSS properties, custom CSS variables, if you wish. And then when you use the team builder, as I called it, you're basically, as you can see now here, if I show you, you probably don't see it from my camera, but you see now as I'm switching this crap, you can see that this color primary is now changing. You see here, you see that this is cascading now, right? So if I set this to red and then I change background to white, you can see color BG now is changed. If I change the text to, let's say, dark, so you can see basically my team builder is overriding the custom CSS properties. Then when I save this setting as a JSONB, I believe, in Postgres. So if I click save, you can see that I do a post to a user table to some API, and then I save the UI settings as colors, and then I have primary, text, and background. Right? So that's how, right? And then you can refresh, and this is your own. Yeah. So I mean, I will open source this soon. I need to move this to Yale, but keep an eye. Probably this week or next week, you will be able to find this theme builder here. Then you can copy paste the code and use it yourself if you want, right? But it's a fairly simple thing, but very powerful, because now any of you, if you don't like the default theme, you can just come here and say, Alex sucks, you know, I don't like his colors. Well, you can come here, maybe you're one of these freaks who likes the white theme, right? Then you can come here and make whichever theme you want, right? And yeah, I can see that this border here, I need to use some of the CSS custom properties, so it also changes. So yeah. I'm managing authentication manually myself, and yes, I'm using JSON Web Tokens. Yes, I'm using JSON Web Tokens, and I'm using secure cookies. I'm basically using HTTP only cookies, secure cookies, mainly for yeah, due to just to mitigate some security concerns, right? But yeah, I'm not using any third-party shit. Just built it manually. I'm not using odd0.com or anything like that. That's what I mean. Primarily because that would cost a lot of money, and we're trying to keep COGS, cost of goods sold, in mind. Obviously, you can build anything by just installing 15 different services, but then who will pay for that? I mean, you get what I mean. So you need to, no matter what you're building, it can be a side project, it can be whatever, you should always aim to be pragmatic in the context of value, speed, and cost, right? Because, oh, let's just use Auth0 and GCP and this and that. Yeah, I mean, you can do all of that if you're willing to pay a few $100s a month for a product that generates no money and potentially will never generate any money, right? So you need to kind of pick your battles, right? But you need to have a lot of knowledge as well to do all of this, right? To do your own infrastructure, to do all of that, you need to have at least some sort of confidence that you're able to do it. Yeah, there's no business model. I mean, there isn't. There's no one, right? The business model would be that we get tens of thousands of developers, and then we bring tech companies, right? We build relevant companies that developers would want, and then they would pay for the platform to run, right? But that's very far, if ever, right? Drev, my friend, good night. I'm gonna actually leave now as well. I need to work tomorrow. Need to wake up in 7 hours. So yeah, but it was a nice stream. I think, how long did I stream? Where can I read that? Is there a place? Maybe if I go to Twitch, how many people are watching? Okay, I've been okay, 3 hours. I've been streaming for 3 hours. That's way longer than I usually stream. Got it. Thank you. Yeah, that's cool. So it's a long stream. That's great. Yeah. Ayla, thank you so much for all your help, all your feedback there. We fixed some stuff just because of you. I see progress here. And Spectra Kirill, man, likewise, dude. It's always good to see you, man. You've been around for so long, it sometimes feels strange not seeing you. But I'm happy that you're doing whatever you're doing, dude. Certainly better than spending 10 hours a week watching me. One day, 20-hour stream. Maybe even this week, 25 gold. I'm gonna be off for like 2 or 3 weeks now. So for sure, one day this week we're gonna do super long ass stream just for fun and just try to you know, have some food and enjoy ourselves. Thank you, Ayla, again. Seriously. Good to hear, Spectra. At least that, man. All right, fellas. I wish you all the best. Be smart. Work hard. Be kind to yourself and others, and don't be stupid. And I wish you best, and thank you for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow or after tomorrow or someday. Who knows? Might be tomorrow or in 3 days. Let's see how the time goes. But thank you. Peace out, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon.